6, 5. So we open today where we last left off, which was with uh, Rosa being carried on the back of Arthur. Louis Claude de Saint John has been left in their wake. They are just on the edge of Lucifer having crossed over into Steinhall, and the uh, the bridge that Louis Claude left them by crosses into like the fortress itself. The sky is complete darkness, lit by a full moon, um, and as you are like getting across the bridge, there's another group of the Wakund that seems to spot the pair of you fleeing down the bridge. Um, Arthur, uh, Arthur like sets Rosa on the edge of the bridge, um, and he says, "I know you want to go back, but somebody has to tell Wilma, and somebody has to tell the Knights of the Rosencross. You cannot." And as he speaks, like the world seems to freeze. And I mean that literally. Like you see ice come up and coat the bridge and start crawling up the sides of buildings. And then Arthur is gone, and standing in the middle of the bridge is the Mad Queen. And her voice booms across the bridge and across Freeburg. It's a hammer. She says, "We do not surrender."
They said they wouldn't hurt them.
And she advances towards you, and you can kind of see like the frost is following her. It's like trailing off of her hands, and it's like going and coating the river. She says, "We will be bound by no one. They fear us, and they should. We bend the fate of the world to our will. Our enemies slit each other's throats. When our lovers stray, they see the trollops who have seduced them die in their arms. When our family is threatened, we do not stop until the children's children of our enemies fear to cross us again. You think to love is to sacrifice yourself. You are wrong. When you love, truly and deeply, you will burn the world down for them and dance in the flames."
Fuck.
Um, with that, she puts her hand on Rosa's shoulder, and there's like a chill that kind of goes over her,
Mm.
but like her tone is gentler now. She says, "You are my family. You and your sister are born from my children's children's children, and I cherish you beyond measure. You cannot throw yourself away to appease fearful peasants who envy our power."
I thought if I gave myself up, they'd let them go. They would be safe. They could continue protecting whatever it is we're supposed to be doing.
Um, she she says, "They are a ruse." And she kind of turns and she gestures behind her, and you can see like the torches of the Wakun moving through the city, moving to surround the the Bearhausen. She says, "Every gaze is drawn that way." She says, "And no one looks that way." And she points up and at the tower. And as Rosa turns, I assume kind of follows the direction she's pointing,
Yeah.
what you can see is the distant image of a woman scaling the side of the tower. And there's just a moment in like Rosa can kind of see clearly, and she realizes that it's Wilma doing it.
Yeah, it's an immediate yes, the party is my family and who I care most about, but I'm not losing Wilma.
Um,
right. Yes, she does start running in her heels.
Yeah, and as she kind of like turns, you hear the Mad Queen's voice in your ear. She says, "Let me in."
All right.
Um, and that is where we are cutting away from Rosa as she feels her great many times uh
Your
grandmother
grandsister.
Yeah.
um taking over her limbs. She feels ice flowing through her veins, and she feels, um, she sees herself like lift in form a violin out of ice, and then strands of fate stretch across it as she puts a bow to it, and you can see that the actual like bowstring is a death strand that she starts to draw across the others and make music.
This is going to be great. Oh.
All right. So thank you everyone, and welcome to the Shadow of the Wachtturm 7th First Edition Let's Play, set in the great lawless city of Freeburg. Our art is courtesy of Hero Forge, First Edition 7th, Pixabay, and Be Funky. Our producer is one of the moderators of Dirty 20 Gaming, the delightful and compassionate Gloriosa, and our lore master for the series is the beautiful and benevolent Syndra. Before we get started, I want to give a content warning. While the spirit of 7th is swashbuckling adventure and shadowy intrigue, the story will deal with mature themes, including death, loss, suicide, and grief. Eisen, our setting, is recovering from a 30-year civil war over religious differences. It may get dark sometimes, and there's no shame in bowing out if it's not a place your head can go at the moment. So without further ado, I'm going to have our savvy swashbucklers introduce themselves, starting with our possessed young maiden.
Hey, y'all. My name is Sarah. You can also call me Sans. That's what I go by on the Discord. I am here 3 times a week. Well, I'm also trying to get my links up. I am here on Tuesday in our Cyberpunk Red Game Carnage as Magic, Broken Heart of the Team Silverlock. I am the DM for the new City of Mist campaign, Deviant Paradox. My players think they're headed into something. And on Sunday, and here, you found me here today on 7C, shout out to Wachtturm, as Rosa Nix. I'm now possessed. I forgot this is hot potato.
Yep, you handed off.
Yeah, let's go over to Len because he reminded me.
Oh, hey, folks, it's me, Bat Kyle. Even though Ruth's not here, you found me. So, I'm not going to let that one die so easily. Now, you can find me here on Sundays playing Len to the Barricades, Costin, and that's Barricades with the Bear in there, just, because bear. You can find, I saw that. You can find me on Thursdays sitting in the crowd and heckling the entire cast, trying to make them break. I'm not an official part of the story, but I like to feel I contribute in my own little way. And then you can find me on the Discord, where I'm an absolute menace, posting unhinged food memes and generally being a terror because, well, it's fun. Over to Rory, and Rory, we're going to need you to give us our best Ruth impression too. While you're at it, just get the twofer.
Oh, that may be asking a bit much. I'm not sure I quite have that level of well, maybe I can't. Maybe I do have that actually. Whatever improv intro energy that is. But hello everybody, I'm Rory. You can find me here currently only this wonderful Sunday evening playing this wonderful game with these wonderful people. Aside from my presence here on Dirty 20, you can find some music I've made on SoundCloud, as well as you can find me eventually here on Twitch streaming a kind of semi-parody slash improv kind of radio talk show DJ set type thing, episodic, and maybe some fun Easter eggs in there. But that's the majority of it. I'm still working on getting the stream schedule and all that set up, and of course OBS. But yeah, I think who should we give? Who should we go to next? How about Bison? Oh, Bison, you're muted.
Hi, I'm actually Bison this time. Because yeah, on my end, I am muted. Anyways, I'm here 4 times a week, a lot, and I'm here a lot because I've been here a while. Tuesdays I run our Cyberpunk Red campaign, Carnage Heights. On Thursdays I play the Distressed Emo Kid. Really, let's just go with that. Garrett Sakes on City of Mists. And on Saturday, we are still doing the world building for the Starforged game, Starsworn. And I play Calvin Scooter Hobbs, a fast-talking pilot who may or may not be officially licensed. And so to glory.
Glory, you're muted. Stream can't hear you. We can hear you, but stream cannot.
Now it should be able to. I
Okay.
appreciate that. My mic is always a pain in the ass. Anyway, starting over. I'm Blaze of Gloriosa, also known as Glory. I am here one night a week, here on camera, and then I produce on Thursdays. And I try to stay off camera as much as I can. Tonight, I am playing your resident noblewoman Honorine, who is also fantasy French. So she knows something about revolutions already, like, and barricades and shit. So, yeah, there's that. I don't know how to drag this on a little longer because we have another player who should be joining very shortly.
You can pass it to me.
Yeah, Tiosa. Say hello. Who are you? What do you do?
I am Tiosa, and I am the GM for the story that you are listening to right now, Shadow of the Wachtturm. I also play Anchors Away on Friday nights on the Up the Creek, which we just had a great session last time with some bonding between the crew members, and Anchor giving his unvarnished opinion of them, which is nicer than it sounds. But we are. I also want to take a note. I believe this is our 20th episode, is it not? So
Yeah, it would be because you just 18, 19.
congrats
yes.
to everyone. And we just had Runa sliding into the Zoom. So once she is on camera, we will be able to pass it off to her and she can introduce herself.
Oh shit! I'm
You're
not
at
muted.
least you're at least not eating anything. So
Well, am I on camera?
I think so.
Not yet.
I'm not seeing you on
Okay.
Twitch just yet.
Let's see.
We can't see you on stream yet.
Okay, just let me know when.
It will be just a second.
You look so defeated.
You had to come in for your favorite part. You were like, I thought I was going to get by it.
Now you're on camera.
All right.
Hi,
Go ahead.
I'm Ruth. I'm here today as Runa, which is super cool. I'm also here on Tuesdays as Exit, and I'll eventually be here on Thursday, eventually. Back to our storyteller. I assume everyone else is gone.
Yes, we delayed it just so we could get you in on the introductions. So we have cut away from Rosa in a moment of realizing that the entire battle, the Bearhausen is a distraction, and allowing her great grandmother to possess her for reasons unknown. And we cut back to the Bearhausen, where the last minute preparations for actually let me pause. I'm going to do my opening bit. In the ancient days of Numa, the great storyteller and philosopher Ceres the Wiser once noted that an adventure can only begin in one of three ways: by death, by slur, or by letter. To begin without one of these incitements is folly, debacle best described as an indiscretion, a dalliance, an escapade. But fear not, we begin tonight properly girded with a letter, the most seductive of the three, and thus the most powerful. And tonight the letter is one that is being read by Kelby Loring. It is the crimes of witchcraft that are being charged against Honorine and Rosa, the terms upon which their surrender will be accepted, and the declaration that the Inquisition will hold any who stand beside them or act to prevent their arrest as equally reprehensible in the eyes of the law and the church, and will face both expulsion from the church and execution under the Inquisition's authority. However, I would like everybody to make a wits and keen senses roll as he's reading
I still need to get my character sheet up.
Where the goddamn hell is my? Ah, here we go.
Wits
Gather
and
both
keen
of my
senses.
wits.
24.
Pointy.
11.
12.
Okay. I suspect that it is Hans who kind of hears it the most in the reading of the letter. I mean, the voice is loud and booming, but it's
There's definitely someone who hears it more than me.
shit.
52.
I got a 52.
What?
Holy shit.
She knows
Someone
what's
definitely hears
on
it
the
better
letter
than me.
before he even reads it.
I'm sorry, I was slow to roll. I'm sorry.
I was not expecting that high roll. Honestly, I have to think for just a moment.
There was a double explosion, and then 2 more explosions.
Yeah.
4 explosions.
Let's go, Honorine.
What was it for?
Honorine's a badass.
Yeah, that's
were
1, 2, 3,
What
4.
were we rolling for?
Wits
We're
and
about
keen
to find out.
senses.
No, but like, why were we rolling? I have no idea why we were rolling.
I'm about to explain. So so it was the reading of the letter, like the voice booms, it's loud and everything like that. It's perfunctory, but there is something in it that Hans, you definitely get that like something's off. So does Len. Does that make sense? Like it's not right. But Honorine, you have this moment of kind of like flashing back to the party with Redmond and
Oh.
Redmond and
And Rosencruz and Wilhelm and
specifically Loring. He was just like the menacing guy in the corner.
Mhm.
Does that make sense? And if anything, it took until you kind of started to hear like the stories of the Wakund acting on behalf of the Inquisition and on behalf of Redmond, that there was a little bit of digging at the time as to like Kelby Loring himself. Like Kelby Loring has a reputation of 58. He has a reputation as a war hero, and not only that, but as like a there's a lot of surprise in everything that you heard about him because it was like as a protector of the weak. That kind of person working on behalf of the Wakund was kind of like, oh well, I mean, everybody has their breaking point of like money, I suppose. As you're hearing the letter, you're almost expecting to hear a little bit of like resignation or like that he's resigned himself. This is the hard part that he has to do. What you don't is hear any kind of emotion at all. There's no inflection. there's no like he is reading the words, but they mean nothing to him.
Oh, well,
So
perfect timing for me. It just kind of feels like he just doesn't care.
It's like
Kind of
not
mid on.
caring, like not caring in the sense of like defeated or resignation is not accurate. Like there is no emotion attached, period.
Like he might be a bug person.
I'm trying not to have Honorine immediately jump to bug person every time.
But she might.
Because
But
we
maybe
all
she
sort
should.
of are.
I think everyone does at this point.
And so he's reading the letter with all the charges and stuff out loud, right?
Yeah, and he's reading it like with that military command voice that just carries for fucking blocks. You know what I'm saying? He has that down. I think even Hans is kind of like, I gotta work on that.
Punch those butt cheeks, boy.
That's some good shouting right there.
You know?
That is some very good shouting.
So we're moving into mass combat. That's like inevitable at this point. Does that make sense? There's not unless Honorine and Rosa walk out that door right now, there is combat starting. And Rosa's not here. So
Rosa can't come to the phone right now.
Honorine, she's listening to this. Well, she had been like halfway through disguising herself. Like she had been intending to be, I don't know, up on stage or up on a parapet or whatever the hell they have, with like, I don't know, a mask on or whatever, but she sort of freezes in the middle of getting ready. Is Alejandra in the playhouse?
Yes. She has a blade at the ready, and
is she with the women like where Brandy and Sora?
No, Sora is wielding a gun. She's
Sora's like at the door of like that room. She's gonna be like the last stand between that and anybody gets in. Alejandra is preparing to be on the front line. She knows how to fence.
So she's gonna like catch Alejandra by the arms and be like, you mentioned if you hang on, I have to think about how to say this. Honorine has a higher witch score than I do. If you have any contacts whatsoever with El Vago, I need to speak to them now. Like, it's urgent and it's not about the fighting.
She says the man that I have a contact with, she says, all the way in Feinharth. There's no way to reach him.
Well, I need to speak to Kelby Loring. I need to speak to him.
He's outside.
She says, I lost a husband to the Inquisition. She says, if you walk out to them, they will execute you.
I'm not walking out to them, but I need to speak to this commander. Whatever you think I'm doing, whatever self-sacrifice you're accusing me of, I promise you, I'm Montaigne and I'm not doing that, okay? What I need to speak to this man reading that letter.
She says, write a letter and I will carry it to him.
Okay. Thank you. And she's gonna write like the wind. She's gonna like stumble to the study, knocking over like a friggin' ink well. That's what it is.
So Gavitt asked if the bookshop was in Feinharth, and yes, that's true. It is in Feinharth. Nobody has seen Ittori. I don't believe anybody has checked on him since the fight against the Verschlingen.
I don't think we've had
We've been a little busy.
No, you have been very busy. Like it's not an accusation. I'm just saying like his current status and whereabouts is unknown. Okay, so you go ahead and write the letter. I'm going to continue with the mass combat because there are things that have to be happening right now.
Yes, please do.
So Hans,
So there's no time to say anything else.
What is your strategist skill?
Like what level is it at?
How many points do you have in it?
I've got 2 in that right now.
Okay, you may designate 2 people as lieutenants who have special bonuses during the mass combat stuff. You have to do it before the combat, though.
Oh, that's cool. Ooh. I'm definitely gonna go Len for one of them because we share share a very like similar soldier background. He knows his shit for sure. Who else would be good?
Runa's loud. That's what she's
That's
got
true.
going.
Runa's loud and throws lightning.
But that's about it.
Yeah. Am I allowed to ask like what kind of like mechanically what that does, or is that kind of like is that a little bit cheating?
Here's what I'll tell you what it does. So people who are your lieutenants are able to lower the personal results roll they get and take basically a worse score on it in order to give you a bonus on your strategy roll.
Oh. Okay.
So like basically they have the ability to put themselves more at risk to give you a bonus. Every hero that is present in the battle is going to be able to do this to a degree. They have an extra bonus.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Basically, you're picking one person. It's like you're taking control of the south side. You're taking control of the north side.
I mean, maybe that could be good on Runa, actually. Sure. Let's go Len and Runa.
Okay, I'm switching us over to the mass combat board. Everybody else has done their stuff on it, and we'll run Runa real quick through it. I'm just gonna go ahead and grab your token. So at the top there, you have your wits plus strategy skill. That's just, you're gonna write the number of rolled dice you have for that, not the number of kept dice in that first column, or in that personal results column. And then next to it, you're gonna put your brawn plus your defense as, again, just a rolled dice. And if you have a toughness, you add a +1 to that.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yes. So look up your wits, and if you have the strategy skill, you add it to your wits.
Sailor wouldn't. Sailor?
Your wits trait plus your strategy skill if you have it as a combat skill.
Can I use Sailor because she would have watched her mom rally and...
Yeah, I'll allow it in this case.
Okay.
This isn't that much bigger from a big bar fight anyways.
Fair enough.
Okay, so am I rolling that?
No, you're just giving me the total number of roll dice.
Okay, so wits plus Sailor would be 3.
Okay. And then your brawn plus your defense knack.
5.
Did you say 5?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have toughness?
No.
Okay.
But I think she's pretty tough.
We all think she's pretty tough. However, okay. So that is so that works perfectly because those two are going to be in your lieutenant spots, and then Rosa and Gab are not. Now, before
You mean honoring Gav? I just want to make sure.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
you got the sister
yep,
wrong.
Thank you.
Sorry, do you need something?
Yeah. So now you have, there are 2 roles that are coming that are going to be before the battle, for that Hans gets to either make or delegate to somebody. Does that make sense? If he delegates them, he for each one he does himself, he has like a cumulative penalty because he's trying to be in so many places at once. And if he But if he delegates them, they get the full benefit of the roll, but no control over it beyond that. So the first one is a logistics roll. This is a wits and strategy roll, and basically it's going to determine you're getting somebody who's like finding every possible weapon, every possible extra like balls for pistols, et cetera, moving barricades, it's like the whole setting everything up as much as we can before the fighting goes, while Hans himself is sort of setting up the command structure. Does that make sense?
Okay.
If he's doing both, basically there's 3 rolls. The last one is wits and strategy roll. Every other roll he does before that roll gives him a penalty on the strategy roll.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
So there's okay, so yeah, 3 total rolls. The final one is like the determining, like that's just mine. And the other 2 are ones I can delegate out to reduce the potential impact on my roll.
Yes.
Okay.
So the first one is the logistics roll. It's wits and strategy. You can ask anybody to make that roll.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be one of your lieutenants. It can be Gav is huge. Gav moves things.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Oh, and let me tell you the other one too, just so you have a decision about it, because they won't be able to do both. The other one is an incitation roll. It's a freedom speech making, getting everybody like riled up. If you want to do that yourself, you can. If you want somebody else to do it, it is also a wits and strategy roll. These are different like potential specialties, by the way, like logistics versus incitation, etc.
Runa is loud.
Appearance will affect it, the incitation roll. So it is a bonus.
Okay.
Len is loud and pretty.
Yeah.
He's dangerously beautiful, which is great for seduction, not so great for like do battle.
I can make people horny for battle.
Len's has dangerous beauty. Runa's stunning.
It's very much just a coin toss.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So do what you want.
Yeah. I think I'd say Gav would be helpful for like just gathering everything, setting things up. I'll enlist Gav's help with that, and then I'll assign speeching to Runa, I think.
Okay.
I think that's the play.
Okay, so for these rolls, for every 10 you get, you're going to have a free raise that you give to Hans that he can use at any point in the coming battle.
Oh shit.
Sorry, at any point on his strategy rolls. You can't use them on like personal combat rolls.
We're rolling wits and strategy.
Yes, and I will accept a case for like another skill if you think there's a really good reason.
Sailor.
No, but I will allow you to use craft because of the time you spent as the stage manager.
Better.
Like bossing these people around, like most.
That's better for me. Thank you.
I kind of want to argue criminal on the basis that if I'm getting logistics, Gav isn't necessarily against, going into someone's backyard and taking their picnic table if he needs it.
Well, there's not really the time to do that because they're surrounded. But bear in mind, the Bearhausen is made of multiple houses that were pushed together, and sometimes rooms have just been kind of locked away and not used. And like, this isn't part of the stage. We've been storing shit there forever. We've not taken track of what we've stored there in quite some time.
And if a door needs to be opened, Gav knows how to walk through them. So could I, or am I still just rolling 3?
I will let you use your criminal for the fact that it also represents things like scrounging and scavenging and coming up out of nowhere with what is needed. So, and also having a good idea where people hide shit.
Yeah.
I got an 11.
Okay, so you're going to give a free raise to Hans from the incitation.
You gotta be kidding me. I got a 19.
Ooh.
So you have 2 free raises. Okay, so now let me explain the actual degree of how engagement works. Okay, on this, the there's a mass combat roll that you're going to roll and add your personal results to, which is going to determine three things: how many wounds you take, how much reputation you gain that turn, and whether or not you have a heroic opportunity. Okay, the level of engagement that you have gives you a bonus to Hans's roll. It's a flat bonus: 0 at reserves, 1 at disengaged, 2 at engaged, and 3 at heavily engaged. All right. It also escalates your risk proportionately. Being on the losing side, heavily engaged, hurts like a mother. It means you are overrun and surrounded and fighting for your life. Okay. On the flip side, being disengaged is relatively safe, but you offer little to no benefit to your leader and to the battle's outcome. Kelby Lorig is not a pushover as a strategist. He's done this quite a few times. So he's basically, I'm saying he's probably going to need every point he can get, but you should also act as your character would. Okay, so you need to commit yourself to whatever level that you're engaging, and if you are one of the lieutenants, you need to note whether or not you are lowering your personal results to give an additional bonus to Hans.
And do we lower it like 1 point? Like if I've got a 4, I'm lowering it to 3, or how does it?
It's just 2 and +2. That's the only options.
Wait, 2 and +2.
So you lower your personal results roll by 2.
Oh, okay.
And Hans gets a +2, and that's it. It's just a flat thing.
Oh, yeah, totally doing that.
If I'm engaged, does that purely mean I'm fighting, or can I also be on the lookout to heal my friends?
You will be able to heal if needed throughout this entire thing. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because of your signature, that is a major power that you spend a lot of points for. At any point, you can choose to take a dramatic wound and remove 1 from somebody else. You can only do 1 per phase. Like if they take 2 dramatic wounds, you can still only remove 1 and take it on yourself. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, is everybody committed to the level of engagement that they're planning on being?
Let's get stuck in.
I don't think Honorine has yet.
Okey pokey, mate.
Oh,
Hi.
Hi. Have you picked the level of engagement you're going to be at for the first round?
I'm writing a letter, so it's a 0, right? Or it's not, right? Maybe.
No. This is going to be before you can get the letter done before the fighting starts.
Oh, I'm very sorry. I wasn't listening.
So the level of engagement represents the degree of risk that Honorine is taking personally, but it also represents the degree of bonus that she's going to give to Hans by virtue of her presence.
Oh.
I don't think your token or numbers are on this thing, are they, sweetie?
Yeah, they
at the
are.
bottom.
Oh, weird.
Go at the bottom.
Isn't that Rosa?
No.
The red.
They're sisters.
There's no scars.
Oh yeah, there's no scars. Never mind.
So they look similar.
Ignore me.
It's on the overlay even. There's a picture.
Those are 2 different screens.
You have
right.
2 screens. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'll get engaged for Hans.
Okay. This is not the engagement she came to the city with before.
It really isn't.
And for the sake of my own math,
Can we
I don't give bonuses to myself, right? Based on my engagement level? I do. Shit.
Because you were leading from the front by example.
Oh.
It's also how you got killed last time.
Yeah, there is that.
I have a producer request. Can we scoochie the two bottom rows up so that I can have it all on the overlay? Can we do this? Can we do this? Let's do this. And then
Absolutely.
and then cool. That
That
way.
is
I didn't know how many people were going to be on there, so I just put myself down at the bottom.
Yeah, I didn't know either. But now we know. So So there we
Ew.
go. Anyway,
And
yeah,
is there time for Len to
think I'm
make a
good.
speech? A short one. Or-
You can, but it's gonna have no incitation.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. This is more of a flavor thing, but Len's going to be standing there with his spear, looking at everything before, of course, he ducks back inside so he doesn't get pin cushion. But he'll be looking at the crowd and probably people watching from windows surrounding this and just says, "People of Eisen, remember this moment. The Wachtturm once were bastions of justice, bastions of safety, bastions of law, and yet here now they stand ready to murder everyone because the Inquisition didn't like a play, because Redmond Earhart did not like a play. They called them witches, that they have done no harm. They were going to burn a musician to death because they didn't like his music. Kelby Loring was once a man to be looked up to, once a man to be respected, a man who would have killed himself rather than be put to this massacre, to smear his heroics, all the things that he had done to protect people. And yet here we are. Remember us. Remember those who fall, standing for what's right, not what was paid for." And he does this entirely without his accent.
Okay. So I want another wits and keen senses from you as you're watching this, as you're giving the speech.
That's me? Oh, okay.
Yep, just you.
Triple explosions are where it's at, man.
Yeah, not all of us have your dice mojo, my love.
Get
Yeah.
good.
24 is not
So-
bad.
So what you are seeing? So many of the Wakun members. By the way, you said Wachtturm at one point. I think you meant
Wakun. Yeah, that's
But many of the Wakun members seem like offended. Does that make sense? Like it definitely strikes a chord. Many of them are angry. You can see that the comments about Kelby Loring in particular, like make some of them like want to open fire with their crossbows early. There is no reaction at all from Kelby Loring.
Oop.
we know what you are, Kelby. We
Um,
know. I don't really know. I'm guessing.
Okay.
He's under duress.
So
And
With
Honorine, if
that-
she's able to tell him, she's going to be like, Len, he's under duress. He's under duress. If that's, I don't know if that's possible.
okay, so you're giving the letter to and asking that it be delivered to El Vago.
Yes. The entire playhouse is surrounded, right?
Yes.
And we don't have anything under us?
What do you mean?
Do we have, I'm looking for, so I want to include in the letter, like, hey, if you can come underground and like meet me at this spot, like if the bear house has access to the sewers or anything like that.
So there's an important question of whether or not Gav is going to be blocking the entrances by the sewers, as he's the one helping to set up like those kind of logistics and stuff like that.
That actually gives me something perfect.
If Honorine had come to Gav and let him know that she needed a way out, a last resort, he probably would have prepared one and then shut the other, because he's got the map. He knows the sewers.
It's not about a way out so much as a way in. I want someone to be able to get in if they get my message.
And Alejandra is there, like, I will take the way out if it lets me deliver the message safely.
I can see the gears turning.
Yeah, I think, because Gav would think about using the sewers, but I don't think, like me personally, I don't think the Wakunda would. But better safe than sorry, and besides, you don't trust the slavers. So yeah, I think he would take some time to block or otherwise inconvenience most of the exit or most of the approaches to the bear
Okay.
house by sewer, and then leave one for Alejandra. And
So, yeah, the Alejandra will take the letter and go down, and she heads down into the sewers, and it's not like a minute later
Thank you.
that you hear her shout, "Close the entrance! They're down here!" And you can hear the sounds of like sword on sword down there.
God.
is she coming back?
No,
No.
Oh boy. Well, he would shut it.
Honorine just goes completely white. And looks like she might actually pass out.
Gav puts his meat hand on her shoulder and says, "Worst case, she's with her husband now."
Oh God.
We have work to do.
so
fucked
we
up.
are coming to the actual strategy roll. All right. So as I have the bonus, Hans, are you lowering your personal results in order to give yourself an additional +2? You count as your own lieutenant.
The fuck?
I know.
Huh?
Like, you know how he said that lieutenants can do the thing where they lower their personal results to give the strategist a bonus? You can
Yeah.
do that as well.
So
So
I can.
I'm
Oh,
gonna do worse to do better, man.
How does that work?
That's weird.
Bureaucracy, baby.
because the personal results is
Yeah.
how much danger you are personally in. It's not your strategy.
Yeah.
Oh, two different
Effective
roles.
that way.
Huh.
So when we do the personal results, that's basically how deep in the shit everybody is.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. I'll give that a whirl.
Okay, so that's going to be +6 from everybody who's risking it for the biscuit, and then +8 for everybody that's engaged, and +3 for the one person that heavily engaged.
God damn.
So
That's
So
to
plus
this
25.
to this first like strategy roll.
so you are going to add 17 to your first strategy roll.
Okay.
41. Oh, it's back
It-
now.
Hans rolled it.
I looked at the wrong person. My bad.
Shit. Well, I needed that. 24.
Oh, that's
Drama-
not great.
Can
That's
you
not
drama
good.
die? Can you drama die
I
that?
probably can actually. Yeah.
You can spend a drama die to re-roll it, or you can spend a
Yeah.
drama die to roll an ad.
I'm just gonna re-roll that. That was abysmal.
It is statistically harder to get a worse roll than that.
Yeah, like realistically, it's probably, well, let's see. It was only up from there, thank God. So
So
what
29.
was 29? Okay. Oh,
Honorine, we need you to give
Fucking
Hans your
scary.
rolls for a little while.
give me your dice mojo. Ooh.
Don't do that.
Okay, so y'all are
Wrong
losing the first round.
person, Glory. You gave your dice luck to the wrong person.
So for the audience at home, Kelby Loring rolled a 70.
I hate that.
So that means that everybody is losing in their first round of engagement. So everybody's going to roll their personal results, which is going to be just 1d10, and it can explode, and you're going to add it to your personal results number. So
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I've
how
got
that
a
works.
12.
Add that to personal results. Okay.
9.
9.
8.
Okay. So we've got.
Actually, well, technically,
Okay,
that
so
would be 6, I guess, because it's taking that penalty.
Yeah, I took the
you
2
got
out
a
of my
minus
4.
2. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I got 6. That's my bad.
Okay. So everybody tell me I'm just going to go down the list. Hans, what'd you get?
6 with the penalty.
6 with the penalty. You're going to take 3 dice of wounds. You're going to take 2 reputation points, and you have a heroic opportunity. So
Oh, shit. Okay. So that's plus 2 rep, 3 wounds, and an opportunity.
So now I rolled your wounds first. So I got a 12. It subtracts the 7. I already didn't count 1 die. Oh wait, no, I accidentally did roll an extra die. So I'm gonna discount. I'm gonna discount the die in the middle because that seems the fairest.
Okay.
So that'd be 9 total flesh wounds. So you take 2 flesh wounds because Draconizen is awesome.
Because it's insane. Okay.
Since you cannot get lower than a 2 with a brawn of 2, you just mark down that you have 2 flesh wounds.
Okay.
All right. Mark down that you have 2 reputation points if you survive this battle, and you have a heroic opportunity. We'll come back to that in a second. Okay. Len, what did you get?
I got a 9.
Okay. So you have 3 dice of wounds. 14 minus your brawn plus defensive 7 is 7 flesh wounds. You do need to roll to soak that.
Okay, what do I roll for that again? Straight
Just straight brawn and toughness.
brawn and toughness. Oh, okay, so brawn, toughness. So yep. $18.
Okay, so you soak it all. Now keep track of that. You still have that many.
How many was it?
Because
3?
it's going to carry over.
7.
It was 7. So yeah, so 3 dice of wounds, 3 reputation points that you'll get at the conclusion of the battle. All right. Okay. There's no heroic opportunity there. So next up is Ruth.
7 with the penalty.
Okay. So you have 3 dice of wounds. 6, 1, and 7. So 14 again, minus your brawn and defense of 5, so that is 9 flesh wounds.
So I think Ruth has to roll a wound
Yeah, you have
check
to-
now, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Resolve or brawn?
Brawn.
Okay, so is that just straight 3 key 3?
Just roll over a 9.
I might.
You can do it.
I did it.
Yeah. All right. Gav is heavily engaged. What did Gav get?
Gav got a 12.
Okay. So you're going to take 3 dice of wounds. You have 6 reputation points and a heroic opportunity.
Okay, let me just.
So I just took wounds, hey?
They're just flesh wounds. These are the
Yeah.
kinds of wounds that, like, if you had a round outside of combat, you could treat and they would go away. So 22 minus Gav's wound resist of 8.
Okay. So minus 8.
14.
14, and I am doing a 5k5. Uh, 28. So.
Okay, so everybody's at flesh wound still. So Honorine got a 9 and plus she has a 3, so she also has a 12.
Mhm.
So that's 3k3 wounds.
Did I get the heroic opportunity? I missed that.
You have a heroic opportunity. Honorine also has a heroic opportunity. So this round we have Gav has a heroic opportunity, Hans has a heroic opportunity, and Honorine has a heroic opportunity. Okay, so you're taking 17 flesh wounds minus your 3 for your wound resist, Honorine.
Okay.
So that's 14, so you have to roll your brawn and get over a 14.
Okay. So it's just brawn, keep brawn?
Yep.
Any defense that I'm adding or anything?
No defense on this. This is just soaking it.
14. What did I
Okay.
need to pass? 14.
14.
I got it exactly, right?
So you have 14 flesh wounds at this point.
Oh,
So nobody has taken a dramatic wound in the first round, which is
That's
pretty
a good
awesome.
sign.
So everybody who I said had a heroic opportunity, roll 1d10 real quick.
That's a 7.
10.
Nice.
Nice.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Don't do that.
Is that not? Is
I
it
don't-
10 not
I don't-
nice?
I don't think the heroic opportunity is the one that Honorine wants.
Oh.
Well, wait,
oh.
Sweetie, did you use the rolling or the slash roll?
I used
This is just a 1d10 is fine.
Yeah,
That's
we're just
correct.
rolling a 1d10. It doesn't explode, so I used slash roll.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
better,
then
sorry.
Gav is 1-2, I believe. What'd you get?
Yeah, he got a 6.
Okay.
I
So
wanna be
I'm
heroic.
gonna do Hans first. Hans, you have the opportunity to save a wounded comrade. So in this case, like who you see is Veronica, like one of the performers that's been there from the start. She fully like jumped onto somebody and put a knife in his side, and he slammed her against a wall and like put a broadsword into her.
Ooh.
She went down like sack of potatoes. And you can even see like the Wakund, like he seemed to momentarily sort of like flinch. Does that make sense? Like, the instincts took over. Does that make sense? And he doesn't like finish her off. Does that make sense? He just kind of like turns back to like somebody else. And you have the opportunity to spend the next 2 rounds, and you'll drag them to safety. Does that make sense? Basically ensuring that they survive the combat as a whole. And you will also get bonus reputation for doing so, but you have an even worse personal result
Oh shit.
for the next 2 rounds.
Well, I mean,
You are
that's
putting yourself at risk for them.
he basically just saw how he died, and there's some like deep rooted whatever instinct, whatever you want to call it. It's just like, no, that's not happening. Yeah, I'm taking that. I'm gonna save her.
Okay. Give yourself an additional 2 reputation points for this, as you just hoist her over a shoulder. And
Meg it.
and you're going to get another additional 2 reputation points next turn, but you also have a -2 next turn. Does that make sense?
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, Gav, you got
A 6.
6. Okay. You're going to love this one. You're holding the line. Like, there's not a lot of reinforcements in your area. You know what I'm saying? And like, there's a door that you're like single-handedly basically holding against like 4 or 5 Wakun members as they're like trying to push in. There's a press of like more people behind them, and a couple people nearby that have like a beer stein in one hand and a sword in the other. This is
And then-
you.
That big metal bar that he walked out with is keeping a lot of people at bay.
Okay. So long as Gab is conscious at the end of next round, there's an additional +1 to Hansa's strategy roll. You must be heavily engaged next round, but you get an extra 2 reputation points that turn.
Don't plan on moving.
Okay. And so lastly, to Honoring. You're kind of like by the area, like the entrance of the like sewers, you know what I'm saying, in case like Alejandro was going to come back, but like people have already been coming that way, and you hear somebody like starting to like climb up it. um it's the sort of hopeful, like maybe Alejandro got back in time, you know what I'm saying. As you like hear like a banging on it, and like a woman's voice muffled through it, and what is she doing?
Is it the door that Gav is holding? Because we were.
No, it's the sewer entrance that like he'd blocked off that Alejandro had gone down.
This can I re-roll? This is not the heroic opportunity I want.
What's she doing?
What's the password?
Do you mean besides sobbing hysterically? Alejandra said to close the door.
For a song lyric. If they're not with the Wakund, they'll know it.
That's a good idea. So every stage crew that I've known, or a stage people, everyone, every my mind is blanking on the word, but every crew that I've known had like inside jokes, and usually had like a little song they would sing like while everybody's working, or like something like that. So can Honorine like hum the first verse of like Mary had a little lamb, and like for like an inside joke,
I was thinking something from the play. Because
Everybody knows the
Alejandro was
play.
in it.
Everybody knows the play.
But
It's been everywhere.
She helped write it. I mean, she was involved.
Or
so.
like maybe a false lyric, or just like she's gonna try to sing like an inside joke to Alejandra, like a wrong lyric, or like an inside joke, like because like there's always something where it's like Mary had a little lamb and its fleece was fine as heck, like there's always like something like that where there's a call and answer or something. Can she do that?
She can. There's no answer, and the banging on the bottom of like the sewer grate stops.
Okay, no, yeah, she's opening the door. She's opening that door up.
You're a fireball.
Okay.
Listen, I didn't ask how big the room was.
Roll your panache.
Is it just panache keep panache kind of
No,
thing?
just roll your panache as action dice.
I don't know what you mean by that.
Roll your panache without them exploding. So just
okay.
do
40,
roll
10.
40-10 without the explanation or exclamation points. Okay, so you act on 1, 2, 3, and 10.
It is a fight. Oh no. I'm sorry.
Okay. I just realized that I did not prepare a token for like bad guys.
That means there are none.
Yeah, I'm sorry. That's not what that means.
It's like if the thing doesn't scan, it's free. Why are there many honorines?
Because there's one for each action phase.
Oh, okay, because you got mad at me when I started doing that before. You called me a gremlin.
I did. You're being a gremlin.
Be that as it may.
It's fair, but
okay. So, bad person. Nobody judge. I'm using Gerard's token as the bad person. Not in any way.
Betrayal!
the esteem that we hold Gerard in. We love him. We can't wait for him to be back.
Eagerly awaiting. Because I want my nomad
Okay.
back.
Okay. So I'm going to give action 1 and 2 to you as held actions that are all going to be on 3. Does that make sense? Because you don't see anything until you see something. Does that make sense? But you're braced and you're ready and you have 3 held actions. Does that make sense to you? Because they act on 3. And until then, you don't exactly know what's going on.
Okay, so she's gonna open the door, and I mean, maybe not like throw it open, but like definitely like part it and like look for Alejandra, because let's be clear, I would rather end up dying in combat than have Honorine open the door later to find Alejandra bled to death on the other side of the door. So
a throwing knife like whizzes through the air directly towards her stomach.
Jesus Christ.
That's the action on 3. I'm going to roll the attack roll. For those who have paid attention, it like immediately disappears after it connects, whether that be with Honorine or with like wood. So what is your target number to be hit?
Is that the roll that you just? Oh, I didn't hear a
No.
bleep.
Nope.
What is my target number to be hit?
It is your defense snack times 5 plus 5.
Times 5 plus 5.
Oof, which is probably I'm probably gonna hit you.
Yeah.
Hang on. I'm not looking. I took 1 in defense. So
Yes, that means your
5,
defense
that's
is
a 10.
10.
Oh, you probably
Okay.
did hit me, yeah. With 2
Okay, so
explosions?
you can choose to give up an action in order to do an active defense, or you can just go, yeah, I'm gonna take that.
Yeah, I'm gonna give up because I have currently 3 actions, right?
Yes, but you have to beat the 38 I rolled with a wits and defense roll.
I can try.
Yeah, you can.
So I'm gonna try for an active defense, and then I'll have 2 actions left if I don't die.
Yep.
Okay. Haha. Haha.
Okay.
No.
So no. So you're going to take 11 flesh wounds from the throwing knife. The throwing knife immediately disappears. But for a second, you see a woman is like trying to lunge her way up the ladder. You still have 2 more actions. You may try to close it again if that is your preference, rather than getting engaged in a drawn-out fight.
Is there a limit to how many flesh wounds I can have before one becomes a dramatic wound, or just
The 11 that I just rolled adds to the total that you had from the fight,
right?
and you roll your brawn now against that total. If you miss that total, then you take a dramatic wound. If you miss it by more than 20, you take 2.
Okay, so first I have to roll my brawn and then figure out whether we're closing the door.
Roll your brawn first for soaking the wound.
Okay, and it's just I have 2 brawn, so it's like to keep 2.
Yep.
11.
Okay, and you had how many wounds from the previous?
I had 14.
Okay, so the good news is that's not over 20, so you only take a single dramatic wound.
Okay. So I have 1 dramatic wound and how many flesh wounds?
None. All
None.
of your dramatic wounds go away.
All of my flesh wounds go away.
Yep. Sorry, all your flesh wounds go away. Your
Okay.
dramatic wounds remain.
Okay. And it's a woman lunging up the ladder. Oh. So it's not a woman.
It's a woman you recognize. It's a woman who is at the party. She's Carmela Kraus. She was the partner of
Bitch. Send her to me.
She was at the party of Redmond Earhart, and and you can see behind her is her husband, also hoping to ascend the ladder.
What a piece of
He
shit.
will- So if
I-
you keep it open, you'll allow the both of them up and in.
I don't remember if Honorine knows anything more about them, but I think she's definitely gonna be like, "What the fuck are you doing here?" and like try to slam the door back again.
She knows that Gav wants them dead.
Does she
Yeah,
know
and she
that?
knows
Like,
Gav-
because I don't know if we talked about the guests.
No, we've discussed that.
He's mentioned it a few times. He's actually brought it to the group,
Yeah.
saying he doesn't know what to do.
Yeah,
Oh.
he very much wants
Yep.
to murder them.
Basically got
Um,
hit in the stomach like really bad, and she's like, "You bitch, what are you doing here?"
You
Yeah!
want magic? I'll give you magic.
Yeah, and she knows that Gav wants them dead because they nearly killed Felix.
So she's definitely like, "Gaff!"
Yeah, slams the door. So you can use your action, you can slam it closed. She does not have the actions to try to prevent you. So it's gonna be closed. We're gonna exit the duel at this point
Thank God. Did I see
because
Alejandra
I assume
at
she's
all?
not opening it again.
No.
You didn't.
Okay.
So that is our first round. And this is a significant portion of time. Does that make sense? Like, this is multiple entrances, people trying to get in, and Hans is just kind of like, I think Hans is doing very well, but he's a little bit like, one, he's sleep deprived. One, there's kind of nightmares where he's like, okay, I'm used to just sacrificing people to win the combat, but like, these are my friends.
Yeah,
This
these
is
are just
different.
like these are just nameless soldiers that I can like you go like swarm those guys.
Well, we
Yeah,
have
and there's-
some nameless soldiers, like, but I don't know if Hans can.
I mean, they're not so much soldiers more as they're civilians we bribed with beer.
No,
No,
I
that's
meant
not
the
all you
shadow
have,
people.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that's
so-
right.
let me actually kind of, there's a moment as like Hans is fighting, kind of it's coming in intense, like the Wakund are like not holding back on their first round. Does that make sense? They want this over and fast, and they're aware that in any kind of siege, like the most critical thing is breaching the walls, so and there's a moment as Hans is kind of seeing like the different costumed shadow creatures. He sees for like the shadows that are surrounding them, and there's a moment where he sees through them, and he sees that underneath them are the people that he's been in command of, nightmare after nightmare after nightmare, the people that he's seen die to the shadow creatures in the Schwartz and Walden.
Oh shit.
Like, he sees Newman armor, and he sees Montaigne soldiers who are just passing through. He sees all of them, like, they're not just nameless shapes. Does that make sense? They're all people that in their own way are bound to the Scatman Man, much as Hans himself is.
That's kind of jarring, I think. Because he was kind of like that little ritual last episode was just like I need help. I don't know what the fuck to do. And he didn't realize he'd been given effectively his army. That's kind of fucking crazy.
You should expect that shit with Siosa.
Honestly, I should. I never do, but I should.
It's beautiful the way he fucks with us.
I'm glad that on episode 20 I can still throw surprises at people. Like, okay,
Damn.
so
Yeah. So now it's time for another strategy roll, right?
we're cutting over to Rosa.
Oh, right.
Okay, so Rosa, you are possessed, and that is but you also have the ability to influence where exactly she's going to go and what exactly she's going to do. Does that make sense? Like, you're basically, it's going to be a persuasive role, as in, this is the best thing for us. Does that make sense? If you were trying to change her objective, currently her objective is to get to the top of the tower.
Yeah.
All right. You are already in the Steinhall. So, and you can hear, like, you just sort of, she closes her eyes and you pass through that tunnel, You know what I mean? Um, and you hear voices whispering. You hear a voice you have not heard in a very, very long time of your mother's voice saying, Angeline? Angeline, is that you? Um, and but you don't have control over your eyes. Does that make
Yeah.
sense? And there is no temptation that moves the Mad Queen from her course. Does that make sense?
Yep.
She arrives up at the top of the tower, and like frost is still kind of like surrounding her feet. Does that make sense? There's still an air of it in the air around her. And at the top of it, you see that Anjay is there, um, with like both pistols in hand, an entire table that's been loaded. Like they've picked up that something is crawling, and Wilma is there too. Um, and Anjay like takes a look at Rosa, not Rosa, and like there's like she knows something is off. Does that make sense? And like
Mhm.
the pistol's kind of level, and you can tell that like the Mad Queen's response is to kill her because she's a threat. You have the
Yeah.
option to persuade her not to. Does that make sense?
It's an
Like,
immediate,
give
not a
me,
threat.
yeah. Go ahead and make a wits roll, and your noble. It's only going to be at target number 15. She does take your input, um,
I
and
don't have noble. I have performer and criminal. So
yeah. Sorry,
it's okay.
I will.
3
Uh,
K3.
don't read into this incestuous. It's just pretty person privilege. I will let your parents count for it.
Okay. So where is that back? Where do I put that?
It gives you 2 extra unkept die on a social roll.
Unkept die. Okay, so 5, keep 3. 30.
Okay. Yeah. So she's like, I will give you your body, convince her that we are not a threat and that you're here to stand against the same enemy. And with that, Rosa's kind of and suddenly like back in her body. She realizes that like the Mad Queen has done a number to the dress that she was in. Like she's fully slitted like the sides so that it's easier to move. It like both like from the hip down. Rosa's showing way more leg than she's used to, and she's also kicked off the heels.
Yeah, it's the minute she's back. I do not know how much longer I will be in control, but I am here now.
Anjay kind of like, there's a Wilma crawling the tower.
That is the same one I believe that attacked me.
Anjay kind of nods. She says, I shot her point blank in the chest last time.
See, I and she's just like, I don't know how to make this happen. Like, she kind of looks at herself. That is the enemy, not them.
She nods, and like you can already hear like the Mad Queen, like, is she with us or not?
She is with us.
And she's moving to take control. Are you trying to resist?
Nope.
Or are you letting her back in?
Letting her.
Okay. Yeah, and you see the Mad Queen kind of like steps to her and she says, tell me your name. And Anjay kind of, is still like a little like hackles up, but she says, Anjay. She says, your full name. She says, Anjay Santamayer. And the Mad Queen, like, Anjay Santamayer, Anjay Santamayer, Anjay Sant. And like she's stepping predatorily closer and closer to her. Right. And you can tell Anjay is like, but like her back is against the edge of the tower, right? And then the Mad Queen like takes her chin and forcibly kisses her and leaves Anjay blinking like as you feel the power of an intense blessing go through her.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, as Anjay is still just sort of like like, definitely was like, okay, I'll just focus my interest in the single sister. Now things are weird. But the Mad Queen takes the sword that's at her hip and pulls it free and draws it across her palm. And you watch as she twists sword strands around it and twists the blade. You've never seen somebody actually do it before, but it's basically like a permanent blessing on a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and hands it back. And at that point, you feel the Mad Queen's energy like starting to twist, and she says, "We will win this fight if you can keep it occupied. I need a minute." And Andre's like, "Sure, that should be no problem." uh, so
Just the very
because
confused though at the same time, I can imagine. 'Cause-
the and there's like a moment as like Wilma just comes over the top and lands. Um, she's holding what look like knives that are made out of light. Does that make sense? Do you know how a like a kukri, like the kind of like bent blade that's like common in like South Africa and stuff?
Mhm.
Um, there's one in each hand. They have the same kind of like red metal that you've seen on Gav's hand as like the hilt of it, but the blade itself is pure glowing light. Um, and
Mhm.
as she steps forward for the first time, you're always kind of like focused on your canna, but in like the full moon, you see the shadow of Wilma Probst 2.0. Does not even look human. You can see like wings and chitin. Um, we are going to get a picture now. For those of you who are averse to insects, like look away, child. Um, did that
Oh
come through?
no. Okay.
It also has a necklace around its neck with like a gem that glows similarly to the knives in its hands, and two lenses covering its eyes. Made an additional thing. I don't know if it's showing up.
Oh.
So Rosa is in full nightmare fuel as she feels the Mad Queen begin to like twist strands in a way that Rosa has never even heard of being accomplished before. Um, Anjay like levels both of the pistols, opens fire, and you see the image of Wilma sort of like cracks and disappears, and there's just that insectoid thing there. Um, and it it is looking dead at Rosa and like striding towards it. And then Anjay picks up two more pistols and like this time is like as there's the image, you see like one of the bullets like go off of an antenna, and another one like hit the side of a mandible. And those seem to be much more sensitive places. And it like screeches inhumanely and is like, "I will squash your entire fucking race."
Mhm.
And does turn attention away from Rosa towards Anjay. We will conclude that after the next round of combat
Yep. Okay.
as to what happens. So, next strategy round.
All right.
Everybody. So first up, everybody's picking their levels of engagement.
Getting stuck in.
Do I have any obligation from my um my current
You are
action?
you are heavily engaged by virtue of your current action. You
Okay.
do get the full benefits of being heavily engaged, though. So
Okay, that's good at least. That's a little bit reassuring.
And staying where he is, and as a lieutenant, I am doing the +2 -2 thing.
and Gab's
too.
given an additional +1 this turn because he's holding the line.
I'm also doing I'm taking the penalty for added strat.
I'm surviving for now. I'll probably do the same just because it seems to be helpful last time.
Okay.
So now that's that same wits and strategist.
Yep. You are getting a bonus this turn. Let's see, 6 plus. And remember, you have 2 free raises to use at any time. Does that make sense?
That's true. I did
I'm
forget
glad
about
you
those.
didn't.
Thank
You
for
didn't want to
reminding
use them
me.
last time because it would not have made a difference. It's
Yeah.
like, nope, we're getting our asses pummeled.
Yeah, they got 70.
So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And were all 3 people lowering the results by 2?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
For
Okay.
Gab,
I'm
it would
not,
be 3.
I'm not technically a lieutenant, but
No, only the people who are lieutenants can do that.
yeah, okay.
Ah.
So never mind.
Oh, is honoring going to heavily engaged?
Yeah, let's do it. Fuck it. Fuck it, we
Alright.
ball.
Nice.
So okay, so we're 9 plus 4 plus 6 plus 1, right?
4, 6, 1. Yeah, that sounds correct.
So plus 20.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. All right.
All
Here we go. 35 with the bonus.
35. So across the battlefield, I'm just gonna give so Runa kind of like sees through a door. She doesn't know what's happening on top of the shadow or on top of the tower of the Wachtturm, but like I want our audience and our camera to know that as the bullet kind of hits the antenna of the creature that is on top of the tower, Kelby Loring seems to like snap his head to the side and grimace in pain.
Oh, son of a bitch.
I knew it. I knew
So,
from the beginning.
He got a 39. However, he has a penalty this turn because of the combat that is going on.
Wait, let's
that combat
go.
is distracting him enough that his results are getting halved. Does that make sense? So that brings him down to a I'm going to round down. Oh, no, I'll round up. So just to a 20.
Let's go.
And which will put you guys winning for this turn.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Let's go.
Okay. So all right. So the messages that had been sent out to the everything, you guys are going to get reinforcements in the following order. Okay, you're going to get reinforcements from the Order of St. Gregor, which is the group that's protecting Cardinal Siosa, in the first round because it's, or in the third round because it's the closest group. All right. Louis Claude is going to continue carrying the message to the Knights of the Rosencross. They will be able to arrive in round 4. All right. If Rosa is able to acquire any other help from other groups, which there certainly are, they'll be arriving consecutively in rounds like 5, 6, etc.
Okay.
Does that make sense? All right. So everybody is going to roll their personal results again. So that's just the 1d10 and adding your personal results to it as we go back to the table of Doom
11.
and Ick.
That'd be a 6.
That's 5 for me.
Okay. Okay, so you're on the winning side of heavily engaged. So I'm going to do them in the order that people roll them. So Ruth is first. Actually, it's going to be easiest to just work from the top down again. So
Hans was first, I think.
Hans was 3 plus his plus 4, but you have the -2, right? Because of your
Yeah.
Okay.
Just 5 on that one.
Okay, so that's going to be 4 dice of wounds -1 to 3 dice of wounds.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Oh, I thought I got a 6 for a moment. I was like, seriously?
Yeah, I was like, what the hell? Confused me too.
6 from
18
3 dice would be crazy.
18 -7 is 11.
Okay.
So add that to your previous wounds from the last round.
That's 13 total now.
Okay, that is another heroic opportunity.
Oh, nice. And then
and make your soak roll.
Okay, it is 4. I was right. 26.
Okay. What did you get last turn for flesh wounds? We had 12.
The previous round, I think I think you said 2 because it was
Oh,
low.
yeah,
And then
that's right.
there was like
2.
a bunch of deductions. It was 2
Yeah.
for last one, so I'm at 13 total right now.
Okay.
Because it's from it's 11 from this one.
So Hans is like barely sweating it yet. He's like, "Are you kidding? I'm usually missing an arm by this time in the middle of the night."
Yeah, it's like, what is this?
Okay.
Equivalent to like 2 in the morning? Yeah, I usually have like.
Okay.
What do you mean I
So-
had the difficulty on ridiculous?
Okay. Bat Kyle, what did you?
I got an 8 with my +2 with my leftovers from wits and strategy.
Okay, so you're getting 3 dice of wounds, no heroic opportunities. I'm so sorry. Oh wait, no, you're regular engaged. Okay, so that's 2 dice of wounds and no heroic opportunity. So 16 minus your 7 is 9.
Plus my 3 wounds from previous, I thought, so 12?
Yep.
Wounds? Okay. 12 total wounds. And now I roll my soak, which is my brawn plus toughness. $28.
Ooh.
I grow carapace temporarily.
So like I have this picture of like Len had a door that like he went outside and he made a big speech, he pissed off a bunch of Wachtturm, and now he's like behind a table that's like got 50 something crossbow bolts stuck inside of it. Like wait for it. You're gonna run out eventually.
Like blind firing, but with the spear. They get one.
All right, so Runa, you rolled 1d10, but you did not explode your 10. This die can explode. So go ahead and do that for me. Roll another die and just add it to your previous 10.
Well, these ones do blow up.
These do.
Yeah, these blew
Okay.
up. It was the other ones that don't.
So it's
So
15
it would
plus
add 1.
is 16. Okay, so you only take 1 die of wounds, but you get 3 reputation.
Oh, I'm at 10.
Nice.
I just wrote in 3.
So you take 8 wounds minus your 5, so 3 plus what you took last turn.
So I'm at 12.
Okay.
Do you roll to soak that still, or?
Yeah.
So I
still
have
roll your-
to beat a 12?
You have to beat the total, yes.
Okay. And that's brawn, so 17. I'm good.
Nice.
So you're still good. It is also your turn, so I will give you the option if you would like, and if Honorine consents, to shift to the dramatic wound.
Sorry, what?
You have this sympathetic healer, so you have the ability to take a dramatic wound. I believe Honorine has taken one, right?
Yes.
You have the option, if you'd like to take one at this point, or you can hold your ability to do that. But this is the phase where you say, I'm taking a dramatic wound from so-and-so.
And so is each round of the fight considered a phase?
Each round is like multiple phases. You could technically take 10, but given the constraints of like you can only take 1 per wound, and you also have to get to them in the middle of all the fighting, and everybody's kind of spread out because it's a mass combat. So I'm allowing you to do it once per round. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. So
Does
like,
this mean that Runa ends up stabbed in the stomach?
yeah, like what Honorine sees is like Runa comes up and is just kind of like touches her shoulder, you know what I'm saying? Like in the kind of like reassuring way, or however, I mean, if you want to hug her, like however.
I'm gonna hug her.
Feel through
Actually,
slaps.
I know she knows Honorine is really uncomfortable with hugs. She's seen it. So she's just gonna like grab her shoulder and give her a nod. As
Yeah.
you
And the
realize
pain
that
in
you're
Honorine's
okay
side-
now.
Yeah, the pain completely recedes, but you see blood start to spill down Runa's side.
So I have the 12 flesh wounds plus 1 dramatic wound, correct?
Yes.
Cool.
And I have 0
Uh,
dramatic wounds?
Yes.
You have 0 dramatic wounds and 0 flesh wounds.
Yikes.
Okay.
It'll be okay.
So,
And Honorine is like, oh my god, are you okay? Oh, I'm okay, but are you okay? Like, she's
I'll be
definitely
fine.
very concerned because it was very painful.
She's
it's probably Honorine's first stabbing.
yeah.
It really
Probably
is.
not Runa's.
Runa's just gonna like put her hand on her face and like look at her reassuringly and be like, I'll be fine.
Okay. Honorine is not doing well. Like I'm sure that Runa has seen it, by the way, and like maybe new crew members or something. Like as soon as like the adrenaline stops, she's probably gonna throw up. She's probably gonna cry. She's probably going to like go comatose for like have to curl up and have like a stress nap. Like she's not okay. Just
She's-
FYI.
Yeah.
All
As
right.
long as we don't get orphan Honorine, that's all we can hope for, I guess.
What did you get on your roll?
I got what did I get? Shit. I'm just gonna roll it again. That's 6.
Is that including your penalties?
Yeah,
though?
with the
No.
I'm
doesn't-
I'm not a lieutenant.
Okay, right. Okay, so it's just, but it is including your personal results.
Yeah.
So a 6 is stay still chart. Okay, is 4 dice of wounds, 2 reputation points, and another heroic opportunity. Gav is unapologetically in the shit. 22 minus
Two.
your 8.
8, so that's 14, and I got what do I currently have? 14, and so that's I need to get a 28.
Yep.
On 5 dice.
Okay. The you need to get a 28 on 5 dice, is what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me know how you do.
27.
So you take a dramatic wound,
Take 1.
but you
dramatic
erase your
wound.
flesh wounds. Okay. And you have a heroic opportunity later on. Okay. Honorine, what did you get? You rolled a 3 plus your personal results is a 3. So that's a 6. So that's the same thing, 4 dice of wounds. Which is 18. But you now have no flesh wounds and no dramatic wounds.
We can't hear you.
I was muted. So I have to roll to beat an 18.
Yes.
15.
15?
Yes, sorry, minus your 3 from your brawn plus your defense.
Okay. And so that is a 2 keep 2 then, right? For the
Yes.
okay.
Come on, Honorine dice magic.
Okay.
Will you
Honorine
stop?
is re-stabbed.
It's in the
It's like,
same
I just
spot,
fixed
but on the other side. In the
Okay.
same spot. On the
Please
other
tell me I
side.
have a heroic opportunity out of this.
You do.
Thank God.
Yeah, like the people who are getting 7 through 9s are just missing the heroic opportunities. It's really awful. So, okay. So, Hans's heroic opportunity is first. So 1d10 again.
All right. 8.
Okay. All right.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can you help me? How many flesh wounds did I just take? Did I just take 15?
Yes.
12?
Yeah, 15 flesh wounds.
Because it was -3 for something, right?
Yeah, but it was originally 18. So it's
Right.
down to 15.
So it's down to
then it became
15.
a
And then
dramatic
did I
wounds.
soak 3?
No, you didn't soak any.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you've
so
taken a
15.
dramatic wound. You're back to
Oh.
one dramatic wound. You've been stabbed in the same spot.
Oh my God.
No,
Thank
it's just
you.
exactly
Sorry.
on the opposite side, so she'll always be
Sorry.
matching.
Ah,
Oh my god, twin.
Actually, I do like the idea that it's in the same side, so that when it heals, both her and Runa will have a scar in the exact same spot.
It's
And
just
it's
in
like,
the
hey, look,
exact
there's a
same spot
perfect
again.
excision. It's like there's a bloody gap in the dress, and the sword just went right there.
Okay. So you
Runa's
are going
gonna
to have
need to
the
go to
opportunity
Upman.
to take the enemy banner. So this is normally resolved by a duel, but I don't want to fight out yet another duel right now. Does that make sense?
That's fair.
So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you make another personal results roll, take that many injuries, and we'll assume that you've taken from them. It's not actually a banner, but it will be like a Wakun shield that has their
effectively a trophy of some sort.
yeah,
Okay.
something that they lose prestige by virtue of you having.
Yeah, just like, oh, I have your shit. Haha. Okay. So that's just another personal results. Let's see.
So yeah, make another personal results for this round.
Okay. Including this also keeps my penalty?
Yes.
Okay. Perfect.
We were playing capture the flag.
That's 9.
Okay. So that is you won't get like multiple heroic opportunities that are doing this.
Yeah.
So you got to find a result of 9. Oh, that's fine. So that's just okay. So 2 more dice of wounds. Thank your Draconizing lucky stars, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's 15 minus 7 is another 8 points of flesh wounds you take.
Right. So that brings me to 15 plus 8, 21 total. It's getting a little bit dicey. Not intended because I didn't think of it. 15. Fuck.
Okay. So you're taking a dramatic wound.
So that's a dramatic wound, and that's just to like fully hammer it home in my head. That wipes out flesh wounds fully.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
All right. So
nice.
we're taking a little bit so let me read the mechanics of what needs to happen now. And then I would just kind of want to like flash through and describe
Oh
it.
god.
That makes sense.
Yav still has a heroic opportunity, just to throw that out there. So we don't
Yep,
forget it.
Gavin and Honorine both have one, I believe. So and you can go ahead and roll your d10s for those now so we know what they are. But so how this works is every turn you have to take a step closer to the reserves until you get to the reserves. Does that make sense? Basically, you're at that point you're planning it there safely. You're also carrying Veronica with your other arm. She needs medical attention.
Jeez, I'm still. I'm like, hold on, lady. I need to go get this first.
It's more like they came at you. You know what I'm
Oh.
saying? Like you were like, and you realize that they were like one of
Just
the
like,
lieutenants
oh,
of the
shit,
other
okay.
side. You know, we'll do that in just a second. So you have to move it closer to reserves each round, and the increased
Okay.
attention means that your personal results roll is reduced by 4 on top of what it's already reduced by. You gain 3 extra reputation points each round, and if you get it all the way to the end to the reserves, or you win the battle, you get plus 5 reputation points.
Okay.
Okay.
So that
every round you are holding their banner, you get plus 5 to your wits and strategy roll.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because the thing is, banners are not just like matters of honor; they're also how like units move.
Yeah, it's like
they
markers for where
reinforce
they
to
are.
banners.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the thing that they can see. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So you
It's like a
have a
waypoint.
banner that belongs to the enemy, which like limits their ability to move effectively.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
And then you said it's my personal results is reduced by 4 on top of whatever else I do. Does that mean I can go into
Yes.
negatives?
Yes.
Oh, okay, interesting. So
Going
I can
into
have
negatives is just the worst possible result.
yeah. So I could theoretically have a -2 as my like personal results number.
Yeah.
It's a horrible idea, but I like that's allowed mechanically. That's okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Huh. That's
very
scary.
bad.
Yeah, horrible idea. So it's just effectively at 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a very flattering picture of Billy going. So,
Out of curiosity, if I am to move to heavily engaged, that doesn't affect my ability to be able to get to people to heal.
No.
Okay. I'm not being bombarded by too many people that I can't do that.
No. However,
Cool.
people can only move like one heavily engaged to engaged or engaged to disengaged. You can't just go from heavily engaged to like reserves.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That
Unless
makes sense.
something
I wasn't
changes
planning
that.
on it.
Yeah. Unless you're yeeted there by Gav. I don't know.
Festival special. I learned it on TV.
Okay. So I just kind of want to like other people are seeing this. They see Hans like he's kind of like at one of the entrances, like he's scooped up Veronica. And like somebody kind of like full hits him hard enough to like send him back and outside of the building for just a moment. Where he's like surrounded by Wakun. He sees like the Bannerman manages to like he only has like one hand at this moment. And uh like Blade is knocked away, but he catches the blade of the Wakun who's coming at him. Does that make sense? And like pulls it from his hands and like plants it into him, takes the guy's shield. Mostly it's something to have with his other hand. Like he's looking around, he can't even see where his sword is. Does that make sense? um and as he's using the shield to just sort of like ram his way back inside, and like shield Veronica and like taking a few hits himself, getting
Yeah.
hit in the back, like forces his way in. Um, and like right in front of him, he sees one of the shadow creatures. And he sees it like lift its own blade. And there's just a moment where like Hans's awareness like goes out of him and he can see like tiny little pieces of a broken sword rising out of the place where he was dug up from.
Whoa.
The sword that
What the
like
fuck?
belonged to his family, and then those pieces of blade like disappearing into
The
shadow,
broken one.
and they form into the sword inside of the creature's hand. Does that make sense? And then it reverses it and offers the handle to Hans.
Like kind of he like stumbles for a second at the like just like the mental bombardment, and just he silently nods in appreciation and grabs the new sword.
The sword's hilt is now like the branches of a leafless tree. And like the trunk of it
Oh.
is the central hilt, and the like roots spreading out are the pommel at the bottom.
Whoa.
And then like shadow creatures form an honor guard around you and start like trying to help you back inside with both Veronica and
Damn.
Banner. So next heroic opportunity is
Let's
Gabs.
go.
I keep fidgeting with my dice. What'd I get? I got an 8.
Okay. Um, you also have a take the enemy banner. Okay, so same thing. Like basically, like this is another one of like the kind of key players of the other side that's like gotten within striking distance of Gav. You're going to roll another personal results. You're going to take the wounds from that, and then penalties for as long as you're holding it, as you have to like retreat back to the reserves.
That's a nice hat. I think I will take it. I am a captain of the guard. Not for much longer.
Go ahead and make their personal results for the extra wounds.
All right. Personal results is a 9.
Okay, so that is
Now has a fancy hat.
3 dice of wounds.
Imagine this is the same guy that gave Gav the dramatic wound. I'll be taking your hat now.
So that's 13 minus his 8, so 5 more. So he only has 5 flesh wounds to soak, and he's
I
going to be
literally
fine.
cannot fail.
Okay.
Rolling 5 dice.
There's no additional reputation but you will get the same benefits of like you still have the personal results, you still have the extra reputation points for each round that you're doing this, and cumulatively between the two of you, Hans is going to get a +10 in his next strategy roll.
Okay, just how much rep did I get from grabbing the banner? I missed that.
If you get it all you get, yeah.
So
So
It's not for
each
this turn, or is it for the
you
next
get
turn?
3 extra reps points each round, and bonus 5 if you make it back to the reserves.
Okay.
Okay. Does that include the acquiring round?
I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I'll give it to you the round that you acquire it,
Okay, cool.
because you have to take the extra wounds to. So, and honorines. What'd you get in your roll?
2.
Okay.
Dos.
Not a duel.
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So in the same way of like having people that are kind of like organizing everything, what you see is one of the people on your side like goes down to a crossbow bolt that is carrying one of the sort of like rally points for those that are inside of the bear housing. Does that make sense? And so you have the opportunity to pick it up. You get extra reputation. You have penalties while carrying it, but it's up to you if you want to do so. It reflects the opportunity for additional reputation. That there's a danger in the fighting with it.
What if Honorine doesn't really want reputation?
Yeah, reputation isn't always something you opt into.
Sometimes you do not have a choice.
She's gonna pick it up and run with it.
Okay. You have a -1 unkept die penalty to all rolls while carrying the banner. Every round you carry it gives you an extra reputation point.
Okay.
These are only during heroic opportunities or duels. You don't have a penalty on like your personal results or anything like that. Does that make sense? Like you won't have penalties on your soak rolls or anything of that nature.
And what was the reputation for each round?
+1
+1. Okay.
on top of what you've already been getting for every round.
Everybody else is getting
Excuse
banners
me,
and
what?
stuff.
Everybody's getting reputation every round.
No.
Yeah.
No. Veto.
Yeah. Okay. So we cut back to Rosa. Atop the tower. As you watch like the creature, this thing has a brawn of 6, it has finesse of 4, panache of 3. It is soundly outclassing Anjay, and the first time she kind of like gets the blade up to like block, you see it slices the blade in the weapons that the creature is using. Anjay's reaction is to immediately take like the blade and plunge it into the thing's hand and through it, and that's enough to like get the knife out of its hand, and like draw a screech from it. Like even cut in half, it's still a twisted blade, so it gets extra dice. But like the first real hit, like you see it just kind of like snaps a punch, and you can hear bone crunch from Anjay. Like it lifts her off the ground and like sets her down, and as you're watching like the Mad Queen like dig into the strands of the creature in a way that like you have never seen before. This is a Grandmaster ability. And the moment she seems to like properly have her hold on it, the thing starts to scream in a way that is utterly inhuman. And you see that it completely forgets about the fight. It takes the one uninjured hand it has and reaches it out and like towards the center of the tower, and overhead the entire sky disappears. And in its place, what you see, and only you see, like nobody else in other parts, is thousands upon thousands upon thousands of those creatures. And like not just those insectoid human things, but massive beetles that seem to be loaded down with like larval forms of them. You see dragonflies that look like they could stretch like the length of the bone bridge, with like hundreds of those creatures like clinging onto them. There is an invading army armed to the teeth. And like the image of it appears, disappears, appears, disappears, as the creature continues to scream and continues like with all of its might to try to make whatever it's doing happen. Anjay like stabs it in the throat, stabs it in the face, is like, die, die. And then it just rips out of existence. And you feel like Marietta just kind of like, and you can feel like black tears like running down your cheeks and out of your mouth, that you realize is like blood. Up your arms, it looks almost like tattoos of like fine spider webs. That might be veins, might be an image. You're not sure. You're not sure if it'll ever come off either. What you witnessed was someone's strands not being cut, but the strand of their existence being unraveled.
Hmm.
And Anjay kind of like, what happened?
And it's a moment for Rosa of, I need to get back to them. Are you all right?
Yes, she says my heart is hammering. I don't, like, what happened to my sword?
I will explain after I know everyone is safe.
And so this is going to be a role-playing thing for everybody else. Rosa is the only person who remembers this creature existed.
Oh, it got completely unmade.
Oh,
Yes,
Oh,
it has been.
oh my God.
It has been unfated.
Suddenly, I have room for advanced calculus.
I know how to read.
Other people are going to remember that there was like a very dangerous ally that was posing as Wilma Probst. Does that make sense? Like, but the details are gone.
So none of us remember it was a crazy bug person.
Yeah, and like there are still emotions that are like sort of attached to it. Like one of the examples of this was from the book was like somebody heard the screams of someone being tortured all night, but in the morning couldn't remember the name or why it bothered them so much that it was happening. And that person used to be their husband. So
That would be
I don't
fun.
know to what degree like that terrifies Rosa. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
On a scale of 1 to shit your pants, where is Rosa right now?
Rosa's still at I need to save the people I care about. I
yeah,
don't have
and-
time to think about that.
So
And Wilma's
DM
like, we all have to get downstairs.
question.
I'll go to speak to the captain.
So since the Wilma props that no longer is, or was, or will be, every
That
time
means the party wasn't attacked.
well, no, every time she was wounded, it affected Loring. So is Loring still there?
That's going to be coming up in our next round. Loring is still there. The so here's what I wanted to do. So everybody who is currently heavily engaged right now,
Everybody.
go ahead and make a wits and keen senses roll. You may also use strategy if you have that as a skill. Sorry.
On top of wits and keen senses?
Yes. So this is going to go to whoever gets the highest. Is basically going to be the observer of something.
4.
14.
All right. It is not Runa.
Wits, strategist, and keen senses. Okay. Ooh, nice.
Ah!
Yeah, it's probably not going to be me either. Nope.
It's Len.
It's
See
definitely
all,
Len.
I know all. Len just suddenly turns into the Eye of Sauron.
Len, a third eye appears in his forehead.
no. That's not sexy. Get it off
But
me.
what it is that
Career.
Len kind of gets up from behind his crossbow table. Like that's a lot of bolts. there's more bolts than table at this point. But he looks. He has like a line of sight on Loring, and what he sees is the man kind of. He seems to like twitch, and he grabs one of the double Panzer hands that he's wearing, and he rips it off. And you see there is something chitinous and very clearly Cernith wrapped around his arm that seems to be like dissolving away. He is grabbing his arm and looking like he's in intense pain.
Oh, we're unmuted.
I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look comfortable. It's like some sort of giant bug dissolving on his arm. Why is there a bug on his arm? They're shooting.
And you even see like some of his nearby men like are kind of like turning to him concerned. He is not giving orders for this round, so we're going to skip the strategy roll because he's like basically automatically losing. However, there are still men fighting. Everybody that did, yeah. So everybody needs to like move away if they're pulling a banner back. So this is the third round. This is also where the Knights of St. Gregor are showing up. So you're going to get an additional +5 there's going to be like more advantages as time goes on. Does that make sense? Basically right now they're joining in the fray.
So they're slamming into the back line somewhere. Nice.
Yeah, they're hitting them from the west most likely because that's where the church is and everything. So, all right. So everybody is going to make another personal results roll. You guys are winning this round because they do not have a strategist at the moment.
Wait, I'm sorry. What kind of roll is it?
The personal results, the 1d10, the die explodes.
Okay.
Oh, one die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll do Hans first. 6 plus. You're like -2 right now, right?
I'm not gonna take the like -2. So I think it's just flat. I'm not gonna take the extra thing this time. Unless that's a thing I'm not allowed to change.
No, the +or -2 you can change.
Okay.
The 6 is the -4 you cannot change.
Yeah, that's just there. So that's just yeah. My personal results is just gonna be a 0. I'm just gonna take the 6.
Okay, so you're just gonna take 4 dice wounds this turn, and you're gonna get 2 reputation points plus the bonus that you get for the
Okay, nice.
banner carrying.
Theoretically, another 5 this turn. Cool.
Oh, I got a 30 on that demon.
Ooh.
-7, so 23.
3.
That's with the -1 wound die.
Yeah. Oh no, it's not.
Oh, thank God. I forgot about that.
I'm going to do the same thing I did before. I'm going to remove the middle die, so it's going to drop the 7, so it'd be 23 -7, which is
The middle die was
16.
a 17.
Okay.
That was not
Middle
the
of the 3 die. 4,
Oh,
7,
I see.
17.
I see. I was looking
Yeah.
at physically, like in the middle. I was like, wait.
No.
that's-
Like I'm neither dropping the highest nor the lowest. Like
Yeah,
points.
the middle number. Okay. So that's 16. Okay, that's not okay. I could probably do that. Oh, no. Okay. 50. Okay. 25.
Okay. So
Awesome.
and you didn't have any flesh wounds from last time because you got a dramatic wound, right?
Yep. Yeah, those all just turned dramatic. So it's just the one
Okay.
flesh wound now.
So Len is remaining
one.
heavily engaged. What did Len get?
Len got a 9 + 13. Yep.
Okay.
Len is
Your first heroic opportunity, finally.
Woo! Yeah,
Let's
Len's not
go.
busy dragging banners back to the back lines. Len's doing his
Okay.
job.
Len is getting 4 reputation points this turn.
Oh,
I rolled
Nice.
3 on your wounds, so you're fine. You're like, who's out of bolts now, bitches?
he just starts taking them out of the table and throwing them.
All right, so you can roll your heroic opportunity now.
Oh yeah.
Banner.
Just
Fucking imagine.
everybody gets a banner.
I
You
don't
banner,
want
and
a
you
fucking banner.
The
How many banners
reputation.
do they bring?
No,
Pick
the
up the banner.
reputation he
You
gets
have to say-
has got to be like his reputation at darts when he's pulling out the bolts. Nobody will ever face him in a bar again.
It's great.
Yeah, the one guy who didn't duck behind the table next to you fast enough, you can pick up his banner and get the same thing, +1 reputation every round, but a -1 and unkip die for any
No,
actions.
fuck the banner.
Okay. You're like,
I have fighting to do.
okay.
He's gonna step on the banner just so they can't take it back up, but otherwise,
Just stand on it.
What did Runa get? A
Oh
7
no.
So
plus.
strategy roll didn't. So that would be a 10.
And not taking the -2 this turn because it doesn't make any sense to. Okay, so you're
It
also
would
getting
actually be a
heroic opportunity.
-3 because I'm heavily engaged.
No, that's just the.
I am
What's the-
Confucian. But anyway, it's a 10.
Yeah, so 3 dice of wounds, which I'll roll here in a second. You're also getting a heroic opportunity.
My
Go ahead
first
and roll a 10.
one.
Yes. Oh God.
It's okay. I think I can take it.
stop trying to kill us.
7. If that's a fucking banner, I'm gonna.
Oh no, that's
No,
Shoot
you're getting a
someone.
save a wounded comrade, which is totally appropriate.
soak.
And because your abilities are what you are, I will let you just take an extra dramatic wound and bring them back to the fight and get the full benefits without having to go back to, or without having to like carry them back. Does that make sense?
Okay. So 2 dramatic wounds, and I have to roll to soak this
Yes.
because I'm taking a wound. Who am I taking a wound from?
You are taking a wound from your like favorite carpenter, like the one who stayed with you many, many hours keeping the stage built.
She's gonna grab him by the shoulders and go, "You're staying with me." Okay.
So roll your 32 or to soak the there.
It's -5, so
Scratch
7.
that. This wasn't my idea, but she's gonna grab him by the shoulders and go, "The show must go on." Thank you.
That's awesome.
Ah.
Sorry. Okay.
Can you outdo a 32?
Probably not.
It's a 27.
Oh,
Because
right.
sorry. Yeah, 27. So, no. However,
9.
you didn't get under 7, so you don't take 2. So that's just 1 additional dramatic.
Okay.
Is that crippled at 3?
Nope.
I think she's got a resolve of 4.
Oh, okay. Thank God.
Runa be tough. Runa
do
be tough.
But I have no more flesh wounds.
You do not have any
From
more
the
flesh wounds.
beginning. What happens if I'm crippled?
Your 10s no longer explode.
Okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah.
You say that.
You're also really fucked up.
Wait, what?
Okay. Like you're really fucked up, like injury wise. Like you are, if you are crippled, you are really hurt. Okay. So Gav, what did Gav roll?
Gav rolled a 6 plus 3, and I don't know what minuses I have because of the banner.
You have a -4 because of the banner.
Okay, so 5.
Okay. So I think we're turning it around that like everybody who's always getting heroic opportunities is now just, oh nope, that's a heroic opportunity at 5. So 4 dice of wounds. Gav is apparently made for mass combat. You didn't know it, but it was his calling to be a soldier.
It was too big
So
for the uniform, and now they don't want
19
me.
flesh wounds -8 is 11 to soak.
11 is solid.
And you're also getting a heroic opportunity.
Okay. What was I trying to beat? 11. Yeah, that's definitely a
11.
beat. And a 4 on the heroic opportunity.
Break the line. So you're presently in a withdrawal from taking the enemy banner, so you are ineligible for that one this turn.
Okay, so what do I re-roll or?
No, it's
Okay.
going to pass over.
I had the opportunity, decided I have a stick.
Yep. And I was like,
No, it was a hat. It was a hat.
Screw all these hats and sticks. I'm fighting.
Okay, so Honorine? What did Honorine get?
Honorine got a 9.
Plus 3 is a
plus
12,
3,
right?
yeah, so that's a 12. And then do I do anything for the banner?
It's just if you have a heroic opportunity, it can give you a penalty.
Right, you said it was
So-
that, but I didn't know if I was also getting a -4 for a banner or what.
No.
Okay.
They're carrying enemy banners.
Oh.
So I got a 14 on the flesh wounds on you, so -3 from that. So you have an 11 flesh wounds to soak.
Oh, cool. Did I get a heroic opportunity?
You did.
Yay, me.
So
Kicking
roll a
ass in
d10
a
for that
pretty
after you roll your
dress.
soak.
Yep. I soak 20.
And did you have flesh wounds from last time?
No,
No,
I
'cause
just
she
have
got
my
a
dramatic
dramatic.
wound.
Okay, so you're good.
I am good.
I mean, probably not what Honorary describe as good on a normal day.
Probably not, but I got a 9 for the heroic opportunity.
Okay, so this is another duel.
No!
So instead, I'm going to have that be a second personal results roll and more flesh wounds, because just time wise,
What does that
we don't
mean?
have time to fight out like 6 duels.
What does that
Roll
mean? Like,
another-
what do I put on my...
Roll another personal results.
Can you tell me, like,
Roll
what...
a d10.
Okay.
Roll another d10. Yes.
3.
And plus your 3 is a 6, so that's going to be 4 dice of wounds. Okay, so that's 16 more damage on top of what you soaked previously, which was the 14.
Okay.
So,
30.
So that was an 11 previously and a 13, so it's 24 total right now. You need to soak.
Oh. Okay. I got a 12, but I also rolled a 20 before. Can I add them?
No.
I
However,
can't-
you got over a 4, so what that means is that you're not taking 2 dramatic. You're just taking another one.
That's good.
Okay. So, at the beginning of the next round, oh wow, we're already 15 minutes from time. Okay, so that's actually perfect. So because at that point, is like, there are reserves that are beginning to arrive from like the captain of the guard. Rosa is with them, along with Wilma Probs. The Knights of the Rosencross are arriving as well from Louis Claude. And as you see, like, Loring get the gauntlet off the insectoid thing, you hear his voice boom above the crowd. He says, "Wachtturm, lay down your arms."
And crossbows.
Those kind of arms.
Yeah, I was holding a
there's-
guy. He's
there's
like,
some
boy, keep
hesitant-
punching.
There's some like, you see some people are still like, they're still locked in adrenaline. Do you know what I mean? They are still clearly like in fight mode, and it is like in, everybody. Hans has never really experienced like accepting somebody's surrender before in the dreamscape.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he's, it's usually like fight till the death, no matter what. And so like it takes multiple repetitions of like, hold fire, You see the Wakund, and you see Loring puts up a flag of parlay.
Huh.
There
I
are
think he means you, friend.
thousands of Wakund here. Like he could, with a snap of his fingers, like restart the battle. But he has like a number of his men move around him. You see like his second is standing next to Kelby. You can call whoever you want to come out as a second with you.
Yeah.
Len, I think, is the only one who's not wounded, so he's just stepping right up.
Yeah. I'm just I'm waving Len over and being like, follow me. This could go badly.
Gav, do we want Gav too?
Can Runa choose to like be close enough to watch? And
everybody can watch. Everybody's in watchable range.
She wants to be close enough that if shit starts going down, she can help.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna like every PC could be within like weapon firing range for like a pistol or something like that. Not short range, you know what I'm saying? But like he's also having his own men with crossbows and stuff draw back to the point that they can't.
Within lightning range.
Yeah, you're within lightning range.
Henry, it's gonna come lean on Rosa again. Or not Rosa, Runa.
Yeah, like everybody.
You see Runa bleeding bloodied.
More. Kelby Loring himself is not injured. Yeah, we had a little kitty drive by.
Cat ambush.
But the man like absolutely looms. He is every bit up close like the war hero he is by legend. Does that make sense? And he says, I do not know why I am here or why I am fighting against you. He says, if your men will allow it, I will withdraw outside of the city and set up camp, and we can have discussions in the future.
Hans takes like a moment he plants the sword kind of like both hands into the ground between them as like all right, let's talk. And then takes a second to just like intensely study his features. Because he caught that something was off before, right?
He seems like he's himself now. Does that make sense? Like you can hear emotion in his voice. You can hear him speaking. He sounds like a colonel. You know what I'm saying? Like
he put a spell on him. And now she's gone.
He says, I will send men to see to our injured. If you will allow them to pass without harm.
I do not see problem.
Runa's just standing there like, what the fuck?
Like stares for a minute
Very
longer.
bleeding.
Yeah, and like there's some sounds of like further violence from like underneath. Does that make sense? Likely people who couldn't hear the surrender and stuff like that. But like it sounds like it's being fought out and that the numbers down there were meant to be like a surprise force and not an overwhelming force.
Okay.
So and you know, like there's kind of like heads turning, you know what I'm saying, and like Loring kind of like relay the message to surrender. The second that is with him is like, we have, sir. He says, those were nobles. They insisted on their own commander.
Gav, they're your people.
He says, if they refuse to surrender, he says they are of their own. Their fate is of their own making.
Henri's just sort of gasping out, like, Gav, it's I don't know if she can, but if she can, she's gonna gasp out to Gav, like, it's your friends. I don't remember the name.
The Krauses.
It's
yeah, you Gav Krause. My fight may not be finished. I will be back.
Bye, Gav.
We're gonna go back to, we're gonna stick with Hans and Kelby though.
No,
It's
Gav's just like, I'm here to go hurt somebody.
I'm gonna go kill
Yeah.
these guys.
actually by the time like Gav gets down there were like enough forces and stuff like that. They were trying to like basically force their way in another area, but like there were enough people ready and hearing it, and they had already heard that they tried to come up the sewers, that like they're now surrounded and overwhelmed, and like they've gotten them in submission and like under arrest forcibly.
Nice.
Does that make sense? So the Krauses are like now in your control. Um, but their
Len
surrender
is-
has also been witnessed. Does that make sense? So
Yeah,
like
no.
if Gav is just going to execute them here now, like that's going to be a reputation
No,
thing.
he
So,
understands the rules of engagement, but
So-
that's we'll get to that at a later time.
Kelby is absolutely sticking to what Hans knows as like the chivalrous rules of warfare, as far as like retrieving injured and dead. You know what I'm saying? Like he sends in people who are weaponless, wearing red bands. You know what I'm saying? That are understood to be like they're retrieving the injured. You know what I'm saying? They're pulling away their dead, and leaving you to do the same.
Len will bring up to Kelby. I do not entirely know why you are here too, other than I know that Redmond Earhart has the true Iron Prince locked up and was using some sort of imposter. I know this to be true.
Kelby says the last thing I remember is agreeing to take a contract to watch a party.
That was
Some time
Like a
ago.
month ago.
Feels like a month ago.
Can Rosa
he says,
finally be
I'm-
here?
Yeah, Rose is here. Like Rose is here with Wilma. Does that make sense? So
where's the Inquisition in all of this?
Rosencruz isn't here.
No, he's a
So no-
pussy. He didn't show up.
He sent Loring with a letter written by him, dictating their arrests.
Oh, okay. Bacon strips didn't want to face us. I got you.
He's still recovering from burns.
He'll get more before this is done. Okay, so
Very well.
let's look at Hans. I think this is the best we're going to get.
Indeed. He stretches out the Panzer hand to Kelby to kind of shake on their agreement.
Yeah, Kelby he shakes in agreement, and then he reaches into his chest, or like not into his chest, but like under his shirt. No, and he offers a key to Hans. He says, "This is." I'm just looking up the name real quick. Right, let me fill in the name in just a second, because he says this is the Wachtturm's headquarters inside of Freiburg. He says in 2 days' time I will be there to discuss with you. For now, I need to take care of my men and I need to take care of my unit. I need to find out what has been going on from them.
Trust nothing from Earhart.
Indeed.
Oh, here's your banner back. I did not try to capture it.
Take the time to recover. And
when you like offer him the banner, he just kind of like looks to a second and he's like, "Pay the man." He hands over 250 guilder as like a ransom.
I could definitely take Rosa on that date now. Yeah, thanks.
Oh, sorry.
So he and his men begin to like orderly withdraw. He leads a group that is like walking out and looking at the faces of all of the people of Flucifer who've been like basically occupied by the Wachtturm for the last few weeks. You know what I'm saying? And like every single one of them is like marching out of the city. And he's like watching it firsthand as he leaves the bear house and behind. You have somehow snatched victory from the colonel of what's considered the strongest mercenary force in all of Freiburg. So, and just swept out the military leg of Earhart's acquisitions.
Yeah.
Did anyone get into the bear house?
Yeah, there were plenty of people that got in.
Yeah.
But they just didn't live very long.
Okay, because after the adrenaline wears down, Runa's probably going to end up running to check on Sora.
Yep.
We
And
still need
yeah.
to hear from Rosa. She's been there and
Yes,
she
but
has
like
Yeah,
once
but-
the adrenaline wears down, it has not done that yet.
There's like a lot of like checking immediately before everybody can like kind of find the time and the space and away from injured people and everything like that. Uh, to get back up to your kind of command post above the stage that you haven't been to in some time. Rosa is there. Wilma is there. Very injured Anjay is there.
Does she have dramatic wounds?
Oh yeah.
I'm helping.
So are you. So do you, though.
That's
So
fine.
that
I can take it.
that's going to put you up to 4, but that also takes her out of crippled.
Yes, I'm going to take a dramatic wound from her.
Okay.
I can take it.
And Anjay kind of weakly like the best hugs, and that's her on the back.
Len is
Runa hugs her gently, seeing her condition, but that is her favorite way to cure people.
That's just adorable.
It is adorable. Less adorable, but still, I probably cute. As soon as Len sees Rosa, he's just over there and like kissing her, just relieved that she didn't give herself up because he knew that was going to come up, and just glad that they're both alive.
I took care of the Cernif.
What? You mean the bug people?
See,
They're gone.
Len, there was one pretending to be Wilma Prost.
When? He's gonna look around at everybody else. Did I miss something?
If you did, I did too.
He just puts his hands on. He's just gonna back away. I don't know. I'm not a reliable source of information at this point.
There was a bug on Kelby Loring's hand just before but I don't remember any actual bug people being involved. I know we're just trying to keep them from coming back.
See, and they almost did. I don't know how to explain it, but what I saw when I got to the tower, there's an entire army just waiting to invade.
Well, that tracks.
Well, we know we have to protect the tower.
Yeah, the
The tower is the lock.
It's the like final bastion.
I do not know why you all don't remember. Or I guess I don't believe I would have hidden that from you all, though. But see, there was an individual after Wilma Prost. Do you remember that?
I do remember a threat against Wilma, but
Yes.
don't really remember.
There was some threat. Yes, the
See,
impersonator, something.
I
along those
and
lines.
this whole time she's been hiding her hands. She finally shows them as her proof.
Oh,
I
well,
took care of it.
you definitely didn't have them earlier, but I rather like the look. That and the torn skirts and everything, you're really rocking it.
I will continue to study the book. I might be able to help a lot more once I learn from this. I won't have to run away.
I know that it is not easy for you to do. But I am glad in this case, if there was some sort of strange murder bug lady, that you did so. Because otherwise, it sounds like we would have lost everything.
I don't fully understand it, but I think I can learn a lot more. And I think next time I can help you all.
Sounds like you were plenty helpful already.
So it would seem.
Yeah.
And she's absolutely just going to kind of collapse onto Len's chest, just fucking exhausted.
So I would like a roll from honoring of her wits and her. Does she have the criminal knack or anything to help with tracking?
Definitely not the criminal knack. She does have. I have artist, scholar, noble, and commoner.
Yeah, none of those are going to be super helpful.
So you want wits?
Just raw wits.
I can keep my wits, right? um, 22.
Okay. You find Alejandra. She's still down in the sewers. She's bleeding, but not dead. She still has like the letter, like kind of clutched in one hand.
How bad is she?
So
It's gonna
honoring.
be.
Sorry, I just wanted to clarify for the others. Honoring. I chatted this to Siosa. She's not with the others talking to Rosa. She went down to look for Alejandra.
Yeah.
Instead.
So it's going to be kind of like as the meeting is concluding that Henri is like carrying Alejandra back up, and you see that she's bad off.
Okay,
They're both
Runa, is she past crippled?
Mhm.
Runa's going to take a dramatic wound.
That is going to stop her from needing a medical roll to prevent death.
Yay!
She's still unconscious. Like she got messed up. She ran into a group of Wachtturm by herself, and she's not Louis Claude Descendant. She's a competent fencer.
I'm
The
bleeding
other
from many holes.
the other person who went down during the fighting, but did so like from injuries, was Volker Fischler, the Iron Prince, the one who's a fisherman who became an Iron Prince, and just
That's not good.
he's like awake, like, but he's kind of cheerful about it. Like, believe
Could
it or
have
not,
been in
that
a
went
fight
better.
before.
That went better than my first battle.
Indeed. Indeed.
And Honorine is like, she's pretty wounded, but she's like kind of refusing to let Alejandra go. Like she's just not letting Alejandra go. She's just like got her arms wrapped around her. She took the letter back, and she's just like doing like the rocking, just the like trauma rock.
Yeah,
Runa's...
Alejandra.
Oh, sorry. You go.
No, go ahead.
Runa's gonna like kneel beside her and just like put her hand on Honorine's back. She will be okay. This isn't your fault. She will be okay.
What are you gonna say, Siosa?
There's like Alejandra is clearly like drifting in and out of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? She does like at one point, like her hand just kind of like moves over enough to like touch Honorine's leg, but then she retreats back into unconsciousness.
If nobody's done it, Lena's going to make sure runners are going for every fucking doctor in the city. We have money. We're going to spend it now to save lives.
there are priests that show up. Like most of the Order of Saint Gregor, and so one of the surprising things everybody learns is that every single Knight of the Rosencross is required to pass a fencing test and a medical test. They all are qualified as field medics. And so like they're all out there like doing everything they can to like bind people up, stuff like that. You see a bloodied, but like you don't think any of it is his, Louis Claude de St. John, sort of like moving amongst some of the injured. And kind of like, oh, that is going to look just delightful. The women are going to swoon. As he's like stitching up some wound or another. And he actually like comes over like to Alejandra while honoring is like there. He gives her a smile, and, like, oh, this looks a lot worse than it is. Kind of reassuring her, even as he's like moving his hands over and stuff like that. So the other thing is that you see the people from Flucifer, like they're busy like writing tables and like putting mugs back. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's like these aren't useful things, but it's like some sort of symbolic gesture. And when
One
you
of them,
look out
there's
the
no
window,
room. Sorry, I'm just thinking on the tables. There's no room for a fucking tankard. It's just all crossbow bolts.
Is
That's my
very-
table now. That's my
a
table.
very injured Veronica is still sitting upright by one of the remaining kegs and just making sure everybody gets a free beer as they go by.
We promised.
It was, yeah. And out the windows, you can see that there are estates that are on fire in Flucifer. They're controlled burns. They're Earhart's unrented estates.
Oh,
Being
yeah.
damn.
with no Wakun to protect them, no Inquisitors to tell them otherwise. Sora and Brandy, Brandy's like super excited. She's like, "Mom shot someone again!"
Oh,
I love her.
She's like, "But if it didn't work, I was gonna hit him with the lightning. I was ready. I had the Bill Scott."
Precious child. Precious little girl.
I'm sure you would have done greatly.
Baby's first tase.
Uh, and
Runa's
she
like
kind of
trying
like
to
gives
cover
a
up
squeeze
blood.
that Runa is like, and she like, her eyes go wide. And she's like, "Oh my God, why are you standing?" It's like the child ordering Runa to lay down.
I'm okay.
She's like, "You're not. You're bleeding."
She's not okay. I was able to help people.
She's like, "And now you need help. You need to." Like you can
Runa,
tell she's
listen to your
gradually
niece.
rising in panic, and Sora kind of like, that actually looks pretty bad.
All right. And she like sits on the floor, like leaning against the wall.
Yeah, like Sora is bossily ordering somebody larger than her to bring over a bed.
Sora, I'll be okay.
She's just saying that because she's bleeding. Bring her a table. Bring her a bed. They're just like, this is the first battle that Hans has survived and like not woken up from. You know what I'm saying? And there's still strangely a lot of people like turning to him. The sword is still in his hand. The shadows are just gone.
They take the costumes with them.
No, the costumes remain where they were.
Okay.
And what Hans like realizes as he's kind of looking around is he realizes that all of those costumes are actually at the edge of the doors. Does that make sense? Like right before you would be going outside.
Oh.
And as he's kind of like watching that, he in turns he sees like one of the shadow creatures is there. And it growls and says, "The prince said you did well."
He has my. I mean, he has, I guess, more of my eternal Gratitude.
You will have to tell him yourself. I have
I
earned
plan
my
to.
freedom. And he steps around Hans, and he steps into sunlight, and you watch like the shadow melt, and for a moment you can see the person under it like looking up at the sun, and then both disappear. And some armor kind of like clang, clang, clang to the ground.
We'll just give a final salute to that person, and then probably go back to that little shrine if it's still intact after all the chaos.
It fucking better be.
Is there anything anybody really wants to do before we close out for the night?
So about that date.
I think the only thing that happens really
Yeah,
is
that's the
Gav
only
is
thing.
helping.
Oh, God.
Gav is helping like the nobles being all rounded up and stuff. And he gets to the crowds as he's like, I will see you later, I think. Have a nice walk. And
He lets him go.
it's, well, you know, doing the part that he's supposed to be doing as a transfer of prisoners.
Okay. They're not included amongst those the Wakund are claiming.
Oh. Then what are we doing with them? Because you said we
the
rounded.
guard of Lucifer can take command of them if they are charged with crimes.
Okay, he goes to him's like, you are not going home today. I think it is time you see how the rest of us live. I hope he sort of pats Friedrich, or whatever his first name was, on the cheek. I will be seeing you later, I think.
And he looks stony, but like definitely worried. You know what I'm saying? Like a noble keeping this strong upper lip kind of thing is very Eisen. But you know, the guard of Lucifer take them to their guard, like, you know, everybody who is like charged with something serious enough that they get transferred to the jail down in the playground. That comes later. In the meantime, they're going to be shackled outside against a wall in the environment, like exposed to the environment, and to anybody who comes by, which is about as humiliating an experience as you can get. Gav will also
be
see
buying Gilder's worth of fish guts.
One thing, Runa, you remember the like Cernith knife that like drew back from like a throwing knife that Mac had? You saw it when she has an identical one. That's what she used on Honorary.
Speaking of which, in order to make things a little bit uncomplicated for like, she knows that Gav has more that can go on their shoulders. But in order to get them charged with a crime right now, Honorine will be very clear. Like, they attacked me. They attacked on a noble woman. You know, they did this stabbing. And even though it's not exactly the stabbing that they did, like, it's in the same place, so it counts.
They did this stabbing.
But no, like, she 100% is, like, accusing them of assault. To make sure that they get some kind, like, held.
They could be accused of stabbing two people.
This knife looks a lot like this knife.
Yep. And Len will be sure to point out, if nobody else does specifically, that is some sort of enchanted weapon and should be taken from them and kept somewhere safe while they're being transferred. The guards probably know, but that's pending.
The guard will take it off of, and didn't know until it was pointed out. It does pass as a fairly normal looking thing.
Yep. But Len got to see it work, so
yeah. And it's also a realization that, like, you know, Felix had described hearing throwing knives hit behind him, and it's a realization that it was her, not her husband, that was trying to kill Felix.
Oh. They don't walk alone, do they?
No, they're covered. They're surrounded by guards.
No. When they go on their little walks, Gav's got two hands.
Two of them.
There's two faces. Gav has two hands.
And the
Um,
beef bro if he needs help tracking them later.
Yeah. No, you fully leave with like watching them be shackled. You know what I'm saying, and whatnot. Um, you have people that are being injured. You have reports that, um, there are now guards that are definitely not the Wakun, but like every spare mercenary that could be scrounged that are guarding the bridges into the stone of the philosopher. Um, but it's definitely not the same. And some of the Wakun appear to have like abandoned the Wakun and like accepted whatever Redmond is offering them to stay, but like they're no longer Wakun. Um, but it's a token force compared to what he had there before. He had a force before that was potentially capable of conquering Freeburg with might alone.
A lot easier to take a city when you're already inside the walls.
And like you see like the friends that you've made, like Cardinal Siosa is speaking to some of the people who are probably not going to make it. You know what I'm saying? Giving them last rites, and some of the monks are used to kind of like dealing with bodies, so they're treating them respectfully and moving them and everything. Um, the Louis Claude is like doing his best to like help those who need it, crack jokes, keep spirits lighter. The and Dietrich Proust is there as well, kind of like running the Knights of the Rosary and Cross that are there. It's it's a strange kind of like, it's victory, but it was also costly. People gave up their lives for this, and there's a somberness in realizing that like the one who is ultimately responsible has never even like showed his face. And Sora's probably sitting on Runa enough to like make sure she's not absorbing any more injuries from anybody.
Hey, she doesn't want. She's trying to like go help, like bring
No.
bodies and stuff, not take more wounds.
No.
She knows that
No.
her niece may hurt her.
Niece is not the only one.
And
Well,
Runa's
her-
not exactly in a position where she can do anything about it. So if she gets her butt kicked by a 6-year-old, she's never going to live it down.
She's 3.
3. Oh, yeah, you're toast.
It's like, Bruna, do not make me have your niece show what she knows about knots. Stay on the bed, please. You have done more and saved many lives. Stay.
Len, I've been teaching her about runes, not knots.
I will fix this. She will learn about knots and fire. Stay in bed, please. You're
Fine.
bleeding from many places. Some of those wounds were not yours, but are now.
Only one of these is mine.
Yes, exactly. One of these. Eeny, meeny, miny, stay in bed.
Okay.
So the last thing
Thank
is
you.
I'm gonna have is Louis Claude purchase Rosa near the end of the night. He has like a bottle of wine. You don't know if he bought it or stole it, but he has wrapped it.
Okay.
Like there's fully like a ribbon on it and everything. He says, I know that leaving was not the idea that you were very fond of. He says, my apologies.
It was the right choice to make.
I understand that. He says, and also, he says, let's just say some of the most interesting stories of my life have come from when I've wronged a powerful woman.
This is fair. Thank you for protecting her. If there is a favor
Genuinely.
I can repay, please let me know.
This is important to me. It is a matter of, I took a choice from you that was yours, and I apologize for it.
I appreciate that. It was for the better. I can almost guarantee I was going to give myself up once I heard the announcement. And she says that right in front of Len.
He's not shocked. You can look at his face and you can see the absolute lack of shock that's
This
going
is
on
the
there.
look
He
of
knew.
unfucking surprise on
Yeah.
my face.
We are so in the spirit of this, we are having that date before the next disaster.
Please.
If I may,
I will make plans. Yes.
an invitation to the two of you, as well as the rest of your friends. It would be my delight to prepare a proper Montaigne dinner for anyone interested.
Dinner?
He says, not tonight. I will need to get some things. He says, but a proper feast in honor of your victory.
Grazie. I believe Honorim will have to teach us the Montaigne ways of doing dinner.
Doing dinner?
It involves an excessive amount of cutlery.
That checks out. That makes
Hands.
sense.
That was my worry.
He removes his hat and he bows deeply. He says, I will leave you to begin grocery shopping.
Len is going to get up on the stage as kind of a final thing, and he does not have the best singing voice, but he's not terrible. But a song must be sung. A song of loss and victory, something Usura knows quite well. A song of thanks for those who have passed on. A song of fuck you, Bison. I say that with love. That just totally derailed me. I was having a somber moment, and
Sorry.
now I know how it feels, and I'm just going to do it worse to everybody else. But no. But he's going to sing a pretty traditional Usuran post-battle dirge, once in Usuran and then once in Eisen for people to try and sing along.
Well, sing.
No.
Now,
So-
yes. Now you
I
have to
don't know how to
improvise an
sing
entire
Russian.
song in Russian. You
So the last conversation is overheard. It's between Honorine, not Honorine. It's between Wilma and Fischler. He says, "I understand. Right now we have a potential Iron Prince that is held in captivity by a nobleman who claims authority over an Iron Prince's sovereign territory. The only way to properly make him an Iron Prince, or to decide who is the Iron Prince of Freeburg, is with a convention of the other Iron Princes. There is no imperator. The only way a rule stands is if we all agree upon it. Says, so I am going to invite them here to neutral ground so that the matter can be resolved. Before that, though, we believe it is necessary to extract the man from Earhart's dungeons." Wilma nods. She says, so with your permission, I would like permission to take my guard and extract him.
You're not doing it by yourself.
I'm happy to have whatever assistance is offered to me.
Gas from
says-
the other side of the bar.
I'm going.
Uh,
I need a scar. I haven't got one yet.
Runa wants to help so bad.
He says it will likely present some risk. He says, but my guard is here. He says, and there will be enough of them to accomplish it. I am certain. And Wilma, do it. That night, whoever wants to go and assist, this is not going to be like a rollout combat. Fischler has the full force, actually about a fifth of his full Iron Guard, but that's way more than Redmond has at present. Does that make sense? And not only that, they're really good at what they do. Their specialty is going into the Schwartz and Walden and retrieving hunters and loggers who have been in jeopardy before any shadowy creatures murder everybody off. So they're kind of balls of steel.
yeah, right. Yeah, that's their turf. That's their area. Goddamn.
Yeah. So as we do that though, there is the ramifications of that is like Rosencruz and Redmond on the run, his holdings like taken, Wilhelm Kurtz freed along with Logan Seeger. All of these things are things we're going to be exploring like over the next 2 weeks. Does that make sense? The Iron Prince survived, which means you suddenly had like an ace card to play as far as like going, because Redmond Earhart is a powerful noble, but he's not an Iron Prince, and Fischler is. And in all of that, some of you are recovering from injuries. Honorine slips down to like the south end of the city and to the bookshop, where the book owner is kind of like grateful to see somebody there, and is like, yes, Ettore is here. She takes him upstairs, and like Ettore is in bed, white as a sheet, like barely responds to Honorine's presence.
Oh
Let
my
me at him.
God.
He doesn't have like a visible sign of injury, but he does like he's like dripping sweat, and when he wakes and recognizes Honorine, he's like, that's not fair. Exactly catching me at my best.
What is the matter with you?
He says that poison I made, says, he says it takes some doing. He says some of that is a lot of my blood.
Well, will you be all right, or do I need to get a priest?
He says, I haven't died yet from it.
She's definitely gonna get him some medical attention if possible.
Yeah, and it like bringing a doctor to him, the doctor confirms like he's lost like a lot more blood than a person should healthily lose. He seems to be like recovering it now, but like he literally the major source of his problems right now is that his body is trying to replace the blood supply.
Know how that feels. She's still like probably half bandaged or whatever.
But he is on the path to recovery now that like doctor there and stuff like that. I assume Honorine's paying for all of it.
Absolutely. She's like, I'll take it out of you later.
He kind of smiles at that and he says, that is a promise.
Oh my God.
So we'll close out there. There's obviously a lot of things that are coming in like the next while, but it's actually going to be a period without the immediate threat of violence and whatnot. So I'm going to let everybody kind of do 2 like big downtime actions during this period, to figure out like whether they're like helping to rebuild Finer Hearth or whatnot. Anybody who the trial of the Krauses is definitely going to be like a major thing, because the rich don't generally go on trial from those that don't have the same wealth as them. So Honorine stepping up and like putting them on trial definitely makes it a public trial. And the people of Lucifer and the Shadow of, or the Philosopher's Stone are demanding one. Presently, you have a reputation of -50 with the nobles of the city, like with the influence with them, which means that there are a number of like the finer shops in the like nobles area which are no longer offering services to everybody, but with everybody else you have some degree of positive reputation. However, that reputation will begin to turn around now that Redmond is effectively no longer the leader of that court. He is in flight along with the Inquisitor because they no longer have an army and other people do have armies.
So pigs can fly.
Wait, how much reputation did we get from that whole fight?
Yeah, I was going to say, speaking of reputation,
you guys had what you got for every turn that accumulated, which was a minimum of 2, sometimes 3 or 4. That was why I was asking you to keep track of it.
Yeah.
Turn.
I did not.
So it was two.
Let's
I think-
let's make it simpler. If you recovered a flag, okay, you're going to get +5.
Yeah.
All right. If you held a flag, you're going to get +5. If you won a duel, actually, I don't think anybody actually won a duel.
Unless you count slamming the door.
I'm not counting slamming a door.
I'm
I'm
not
counting that
either.
as ending a duel. If you saved a wounded person, you're going to get a like a 1-point ally out of them for free. And you're also going to get 2 reputation.
Gav gained 20 reputation off of that.
And that's so, and then yeah, this is all like each that you're getting.
Mhm.
And then just the entire battle, I think, by virtue of the number of rounds, I think is +8 for everybody. Does that work?
Oh, +8. Okay.
Okay. I think
On
that
top of
lines
whatever
up.
you got for like a banner
Yeah.
or saving.
I think that lines up with my tracking set. That checks out.
Yeah.
I saved. So saving someone from. Do I get 2 points from each, or just a solid 2?
You get like a 1-point ally and a 1 because you saved 2 different people, right?
In heroic opportunities.
Yeah, there was no. So Hans gets
Right.
1 because he saved
Yeah.
Veronica.
And Runa gets 1 because she saved her carpenter.
Also saved Alejandra.
That wasn't a heroic action, though. That was after the fact. This only counts for
Yeah,
when
that
the
was
battle
after
was
the
going.
that was
Yeah.
after
Okay.
combat.
That's post combat.
That I just wanted to know.
I'm at 30 rep.
Let's be at 48. Holy shit.
I'm at 19.
Oh
Does
my
anyone
God.
want mine?
No.
Yep, sorry,
I-
you're holding on to yours.
Fuck you, Siosa. How many does
Yeah.
Rosa get? She wasn't there
Rosa
for the
got
whole
0.
thing.
She was not at the fight.
Nobody really knows what Rosa did except this group at this point, and like Wilma.
And we don't even know
Andre.
some of it.
Honoring's
Yeah,
like,
I-
God damn it.
People know you, but that also means you're going to get callers now.
Gentleman
Suitors.
callers. Maybe lady callers.
Get back some of that
Yeah,
French life.
Honorine does get a letter the next day from Achtung Freiburg. It's like, I hope my earlier, association with Redmond Earhart does not disinterest you from my matchmaking services. And that you would be
Oh, I
willing
forgot
to.
about that guy.
She's
It's an old lady. It's like Gertrude's
yeah.
dark sibling.
Gertrude's-
Oh,
Well,
right. No, I
like-
was thinking of a different character then. Never mind.
It's like
Her
the Karen
ultimate-
to Gertrude. The wealthy Karen to her Gertrude.
On the plus side, Honorine might be able to get like a house that's not going to be burned down or attacked.
And
She gets no reputation from that.
she was away from it, and she was up on top of the
I
the
hate
tower
you
itself.
so much right now, Siosa.
I have no reputation at all.
I nominate Sarah for an RP award.
I have trouble picking. Like Sarah definitely, but like Honorine with
Yes.
the figuring out that what's his name was actually mind controlled and not actually one of the bug people. We got Hans with all the cool shadow stuff. We have
Yep.
Runa just draining wounds left and right until
Ultimate
we pretty much
healer.
had to strap her to the bed so she would stop.
I-
The
Gav
world's most stubborn
holding the
cleric.
line.
I realistically, if it was me, I would have just left it at 3. But Runa was screaming. She's like, "Help the people!
Nope, I get it.
This is what you
Here-
do."
Here's what I'm gonna do. Instead of giving you an RP award, I'm gonna just give everybody an extra experience tonight. It was a big battle. It was like I love using that to like have you guys recognize each other, but there were standout moments for like everybody tonight.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed
Like it's so hard to choose.
So much crazy stuff happened.
I'm not going to do that every time, but tonight, like, definitely felt like that. And you also survived your first mass combat, which feels like, yeah, that's definitely worth some extra. So what I'm going to do is everybody's going to get 6 tonight plus their drama dice.
Nice.
Back up to 10, baby.
This is my first time hitting 20 experience. I always spend it when I get it.
Yeah. Well, we've kind of had to. I feel like we're all still fleshing out and figuring out who our characters are and what they can really do.
Yeah. Need to up some stats.
Well, because I spent most of my points on being having full-blooded sorcery and sympathetic healer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that took most of my points. So
Yep.
All right. So for everybody who is watching, and for everybody who is watching us on YouTube, I just want to thank you for being here with us. Thank you for sitting through an extended, entirely combat episode. I don't do them very often, but I try to do them with some flair when they do happen. We here at Dirty 20, we ask just one thing of our audience, which is that if you can't be kind, be nice. And thank you for being with us. And if you're watching on YouTube, smash the like, leave a comment, subscribe, and come hang with us on Sunday. It's more fun in live. You can harass us as we're playing. All right, we'll see you all. Let's let people get some sleep tonight.
Bye.
good night.
Night, y'all.